Now they've truly arrived. This arrival, even with Qianlong warrior upgrading their lineage to become nirvana, spells danger. Even if these ancient demons invade that realm with the undead protecting the nation, their survival is uncertain, but they'll inevitably suffer. He stared at this group of ancient demons, numbering nearly 1,000. In Yidu, Elder Zhu Yuan in the tower suddenly stood up. His eyes shone brightly. A month ago, this young man climbed 9 extremes platform, reaching the 7th level platform, surpassing Dong Sankyu from 300 years ago in potential. Then he ascended to the 8th level, disappearing from everyone's sight. Everyone speculated he failed, falling into a corner of the snowfield. The elder immediately sent a message to the sect master, searching the snowfield for this heavenly pride. Unexpectedly, today he descended from the 8th level. He didn't fall down. He came down normally. What does this signify? It signifies he successfully reached the 8th level. An 8th level heavenly pride, how can he be abandoned? Quickly, he stepped forward with the power of holding the way. Yet as he stepped, Lin Zaiasu also stepped forward. This step yin-yang step. He landed in front of the ancient demon army. 1,000 ancient demon army, each 10 zhang tall, their mounts equally formidable with 8-clawed giant tigers, 4-clawed black flood dragons and 100-foot giant apes, passing by Yidu. The gusts stirred by them made Yidu's people tremble. However, before such an army, a young man suddenly appeared. The elder who was about to approach him turned pale, unable to gauge the origin or intentions of this young man. Lin Zaiasu suddenly raised his hand, a sword pointing directly at the foremost ancient demon general. Boom! The enormous claw of the giant flood dragon beneath the general dropped, turning a large stone before Lin Zaiasu into dust. The wind swept his hair back. Countless giant trees behind him snapped, pulled into the dust, shredding into powder. The demon general halted, his massive body slightly leaning forward, staring at this suddenly appearing ant. Lin Zaiasu declared, "No need to head to Fallen God Valley, go straight to hell." Courting death, the demon general shouted angrily. The entire army moved in unison. Lin Zaiasu raised his hand. An incredibly stunning sword light descended from the air. This sword shaped like a willow leaf. Though the willow leaf is gentle, everything it touches rewrites space. That elder Zhu Yuan's face suddenly changed. Kangyuan willow leaf. Poof! The eyes of the demon general widened. His entire body shattered into countless pieces, including the black flood dragon beneath him, as well as dozens of nearby people. Kangyuan willow leaf, the demon army fell into chaos. Our demon sect never offended Kangyuan. Why does Kangyuan react this way? Someone shouted desperately. With a swoosh, a figure appeared from the 8th layer of 9 extremes platform, landing on the 7th. The 7th level lacked dense fog, making everything below clear to him and vice versa. He was none other than Kangyuan Liu. Kangyuan Liu looked at this sword before him, his expression turned grim. This bastard was using the one-leaf division. He had stolen from him to slaughter indiscriminately against the demon sect, without warning. Autumn wind arises, willow leaves drift, that domain turned into a hell in moments. Among the 1,000 ancient demons, any one of them could destroy someone in the Enlightenment body realm, with some able to overcome leaders in the Enlightenment rules realm. Their leader could almost rival the state of holding, but no matter their cultivation, physical strength, they had no recourse within Lin Zaiasu's space sword Dao. Just 3 swords. Complete annihilation. Yidu's residents desperately rubbed their eyes, nearly unable to believe the sight before them. Lin Zaiasu sheathed his long sword, facing Kangyuan Liu on 9 extremes platform with a deeply respectful bow. "Brother Willow Leaf, perhaps wait here for 1 month. I'll keep my word, in a month, follow you back to Kangyuan." Kangyuan Liu's eyes widened. Black and white trails slipped past Lin Zaiasu's feet, his figure disappeared, leaving a city in disarray. So the one on 9 extremes platform is the famous Kangyuan Liu. This is his junior brother. Opening the door to New World, Kangyuan truly wasn't absent. Our sect originally planned to fight with all we had to break through the passage, but now it seems reckless. Kangyuan seems unwilling to let anyone enter that realm. This is the aftermath of Lin Zaiasu's battle. Directly changing the sect's stance towards the great Xia realm. Because nobody understands Kangyuan's position. Angering Kangyuan would spell a great loss. Like the demon sect, Facing unexpected setbacks, to whom can they retaliate? Only Kangyu and Liu, in Chaos on 9 Extremes platform. This damned bastard, the previous framing wasn't settled. Now he enthusiastically continues. Kangyuan is your shield. Or something readily used by you. Fine. This seat waits for you 1 month. After a month, this seat will make you understand why Kangyuan cannot be trifled with, why this seat cannot be sullied. Let's return to Lin Zaiasu, who took a step into Fallen God Valley. Fallen God Valley, the land where gods fell. Why do gods fall? Only because above it lies Snowfield's soul-breaking cliff. Over the years, countless prominent figures have climbed the snowfield, yet within this cultivation-suppressing land, even these gods fall. Gods fall, casting bodies into the valley, thus creating Fallen God Valley. Over time, Fallen God Valley became a realm for cultivators to explore and seek ancestors. Chapter 968, Chapter 723, Kangyuan Liui /4. In the past, there were already many people, but today, there are even more, because this is a passage connecting to a new world. In the cultivation world, the law of the jungle reigns, and seizing resources is common. When there's nothing left to seize, they urgently need to explore new battlefields. A newly discovered world is a dream destination for everyone, because no one knows what a newly opened world will bring them. If they didn't know before, many people know now. This new world is where the last generation's human Emperor Kun perished, and it contains unparalleled treasures, hence the gathering of more and more people. Lin Zaiasu stepped forward with the thought of annihilating all the invaders. But he held back. After all, at this moment, the identity he presents to everyone is Kangyuan Walker. Kangyuan is not suitable for protecting that world, nor is it suitable for wanton killing. Thus, he walked past numerous cultivators and stepped into the area ahead with a flick of his body. This area seemed to have different lighting from other places. There was a kind of gentle white light. Where the white light reached, his cultivation was suppressed from the peak of enlightenment to the observing heaven level. The snow turtle of Yixingyang is truly extraordinary. Ordinary snow turtles don't have such strong suppressive power. A fierce battle was happening ahead. Bang, with a missile explosion, a group of people was blasted into the sky. The wind blew through, the smell of gunpowder wafted into his nose, and Lin Zaiasu greedily took a deep breath as the familiar battlefield experience from that world surged through him. Fight across, we must engage in close combat, someone shouted ahead. Over 1,000 people simultaneously leaped up, passing through the smoke of the artillery. Lin Zaiasu moved his foot, leaping over a mountain ridge. Swish! As the sword rose, the head of the commanding cultivator flew up. Suddenly, around him, autumn seemed to set in. Willow leaves floated in the air, and thousands fell in batches. A missile shot towards him. Lin Zaiasu touched his foot to the ground and soared upwards into the sky. Careful, enlightenment realm power. A shout came from the opposite mountain peak. The voice was filled with tension. This place is the realm of equality for all beings. No one can fly here, except for flying exotic beasts. But today, suddenly a person who could fly appeared. This means that this person is at least in the enlightenment realm and has broken the iron rules of equality among all beings. The situation became serious. With his arrival, the entire passage faced an enemy's dimension-reducing strike. With a swoosh, a giant beast shot up into the sky with an incredibly fierce momentum. Lin Zaiasu locked his gaze. Little who. This huge white cat in the sky suddenly changed its aura. It vaguely felt that the person in front was very familiar, very close. Suddenly, the mist on the tree to the left trembled, and a faint silhouette suddenly appeared, thrusting a sharp blade towards Lin Zaiasu's back. Lin Zaiasu caught it with a backhand. Suddenly turned around. He was stunned. The woman holding the sharp blade was also stunned. The two fell just like that. Little Who fell. Its huge eyes shot out with intense excitement, as it finally recognized that the person in front seemed ambiguously close to its owner Yixian. But Lin Zaiasu didn't look at it. He was looking at the woman whose wrist he had caught. Xinyu. Whoosh. Xinyu's hand suddenly slipped out like a nimble snake, her chest lightly heaving, eyes full of alertness. She recognized the person in front, but she couldn't believe her eyes. How could it be him? How could he come from the other side? He entered that world through the Tashin passage, so even if he had to come out, It could only be from Tashan. How could he return through this southwest Myojung passage? That world has many strange magics. For example, disguise technique, transformation technique, all unimaginable to this world. Using that look to assess this handsome guy, you don't quite believe this handsome guy is Lin Xiaopao. Lin Xiaosu examined her. Just the name Lin Xiaopao convinced Xinyu halfway, because this name was only used by her once before. Everyone else, even Chang Yi, whom he might have actually flirted with, never called him that. But she nodded, yes. Need some private words to prove it's me, Lin Xiaosu said. Go ahead. The first time we met was in a holographic projection. Xinyu, I really didn't intentionally cut your chest, and you know about my tendency. I don't usually use knives to cut those for women. Xinyu gritted her teeth. It should be him. Apart from him, it seemed no one else was so shameless. Lin Xiaosu added one sentence. When we were on a business trip to Lao Mountain, you originally acquired enemy's top-secret data, and should have added 200 points to reach the 1,000-point threshold for reserve to officially transfer. But No 88 insisted that the method you used was a viral method created by Zhou Zhen, deducted you 100 points, causing you to miss the 1,000-point threshold by 2 points. Xinyu, you probably cursed the ancestors of No 88 back for 17 generations. Chapter 969, Chapter 724, Ancient Divine Magic Sent to Yixiang. Stop, Xinyu shouted loudly. I admit it's really you. No other hungry dog besides you would remember the taste of shit from 1,000 years ago. Lin Xiaosu's teeth felt sore. To avoid me are your 8 dads, don't mention past crappy events, Xinyu said. Just tell this girl why you're back. Because Chang Yi contacted me, she asked me to bring you a message. Xinyu's face visibly excited. What message? That day on 101 Island, although she strangled you, comparatively speaking, dying at her hands had more variables than dying at others' hands. Xinyu calmed down and fell silent. After a long time, her gaze slowly moved away from Lin Xiaosu's head, and she gently exhaled. Do you all really think Xinyu, I'm just big-breasted and brainless? My gosh. Lin Xiaosu glanced at her chest. Is it big? Is it really big? Xinyu didn't notice his gaze. She added, do you really think I couldn't see through her well-intentioned actions at the time? You acted like you couldn't see through it. Lin Xiaosu said, Blue Demon told me that after that incident, you seemed like a changed person, not saying a word to anyone. What could I say? What should I say? My best sister went to a completely unknown place. I can't help her, and I can't tell everyone that she's in the enemy's camp, but her heart is loyal to us, based on the Trojan Horse Project. She put on a show to alert the Wandu sect to her, Xinyu said. That's true. Lin Xiaosu reached out his hand. Little Hu, come here. Little Hu jumped up, transforming in midair into a familiar Little Hu form, just like a little kitten. Lin Xiaosu laughed and grabbed its little paws. Let's go. Xinyu raised her hand, putting on a pair of glasses on her forehead. Heavenly King Zhu Feng, someone has returned. Take a look through the dragon eye. In the dragon eye of Heavenly King Zhu Feng, Lin Xiaosu was suddenly seen. His whole body stiffened. It's him. Unexpectedly, it's him. Actually, he had only fought alongside Lin Xiaosu once, during the confrontation with Earthfall Beast on the southwest border. But just that once, the face of this Qianlong king was deeply imprinted in his heart. Blood Trace King, as the commander of the South Sea, would occasionally chat with him. The Southwest commander, every time discussing him, Blood Trace King would always gaze 45 degrees at the sky, gently sighing. I had an agreement with him that day. I guard the South Sea. He pursues legends. The South Sea is calm at present, but how is his legendary world? Full of war and fire. No one knows how the legends of another world are interpreted in his narrative. But today, Heavenly King Zhu Feng has personally seen this person, who affects the hearts of all Daxia people, appear in the Dragon Eye. He's back. Form ranks, Heavenly King Zhu Feng shouted loudly, echoing through the mountains. As Lin Xiaosu and Xinyu arrived in the air, on the entire mountain peak, thousands of Qianlong warriors, countless Nirvana individuals, accompanied by a loud shout from Heavenly King Zhu Feng. Salute. Everyone raised their right hand together. Salute. Lin Xiaosu landed in front of Heavenly King Zhu Feng, reaching out his hand. Heavenly King Zhu Feng, long time no see. Heavenly King Zhu Feng's eyes gleamed with a bit of sparkle. Mr. Lin, everyone has been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you all too, Lin Xiaosu said. Thank you for your hard work. Chief, it's been hard for you, all the warriors responded in unison. Chief. That's what the warriors call him. Yes, he once served as the commander of the Tashan defense line. Calling him chief is fitting. Even now, he has long since retired. Yet in the hearts of the Qianlong warriors, he remains the hidden dragon army soul who faced crises and settled them with decisive action. Mr. Lin, you came from there. How are things over there? Heavenly King Zhu Feng asked. There are many enemies over there, but in the short term, invading enemies won't increase. It's still the same as it was. Lin Ziasu replied. There's one thing you should know, Xinyu said. There's a demon army claiming to be ancient demons, about to come to battle. This army has extremely strong physical bodies. The all-living beings are equal spells. Suppressive effect is minimal on them. Information work was done quite well, Lin Ziasu said. I've already cleared out that demon army at Yidu over there, so they won't come. Everyone's eyes burned with intensity. This legendary king in that world collaborated and fought alongside them like this. With a swish, a human figure seemed to appear out of nowhere, standing in front of Lin Ziasu. This was an ordinary-looking young man, but Lin Ziasu's gaze brightened. Gu Shi, you're still fighting. Yes, the newcomer was the Nirvana entity Gu, she of the past 9-headed snake. Pulled over by Lin Ziasu with some means. Now he's an outstanding warrior in this team. Gu Shi was slightly excited. If I don't fight for the country, wouldn't I be unworthy of your expectations? Wouldn't I be unworthy of my sister's joy over the past year? Your sister, is she still at the primary school? She is, and so is Little Moon. During last year's New Year's Eve, she even asked Little Moon if she missed Uncle Lin. Now it's settled, because Little Moon asked about you 8 times in a month, wondering when you'd come back. With just a few words, Lin Ziasu's heart was full of warmth. This is the impression left on the heart by past days. Perhaps in the broad strokes of major events, its weight is very light, but as long as it's mentioned, it always makes people feel that this world doesn't only have black and white colors. There's another color too, called rich and colorful. Lin Ziasu gently exhaled. Yixiang. Teacher Yixiang is in the Front Valley Laboratory. Heavenly King Zhu Feng said, I'll have someone call her out. Chapter 970, Chapter 724, Ancient Divine Magic, Transferring Yixiang Part 2. No need, I'll go find her. Lin Ziasu patted Little Hu's head. Little Hu, go back to your battlefield. Little Hu's form expanded, and he leaped into the jungle. In the domain of all living beings are equal, everyone was suppressed to the observing heaven realm. Little Hu's combat power could directly withstand the enlightenment realm, making him one of the strongest in this forest. And there was another one. Lin Ziasu's gaze lifted. Where did Blue Demon go? Heavenly King Zhu Feng said, didn't Xinyu tell you? Blue Demon and Miao Yin Heavenly King entered the ancient world last September. Blue Demon and Miao Yin actually went in too. Where did they go? There was no time to explore this now. Lin Ziasu moved his feet, descending into the void. He landed in front of Conch Valley. Conch Valley had already changed significantly. The once desolate wasteland now had barracks, as a garrison of thousands needed logistical support. Aside from the barracks, there was also a steel-structured laboratory, bright and clean, built under the old golden acacia tree. Between the barracks and various buildings in the valley, paving stones had been laid. It no longer had the features of a barren valley, but rather a standard military base. Lin Ziasu put on the dragon eye and gracefully walked to the entrance of the laboratory. A flash of green light appeared in front, and a clear 3 appeared beside the door. Level 3 Authority, Heavenly King Authority. Even though he had left this world for over half a year, his authority was still retained. At the laboratory entrance, more than 10 soldiers saluted, and the door opened wide. The head of the laboratory stepped out to greet him. Upon learning his identity, the head blushed. Clearly, the name Lin Ziasu was very stimulating to those in the scientific field. Because over the past year, the biggest breakthrough in the genetic line was undoubtedly the genetic nirvana. If merit were to be bestowed, the top contributor would be him. He had opened the gate of creation on Blue Demon, and by using Blue Demon as the experimental subject, obtained complete data. This transformed nirvana, initially a genetic creation betting human lives on 1 in a million chance, into stable and controllable gene technology. After walking along a long corridor, at the very end was a special laboratory. Heavenly King Lin, Teacher Yixiang is inside, said the head of the laboratory. You also call her teacher. Lin Zaiyasu smiled. The head said, the genetic nirvana breakthrough depends on three key people. First is you, Heavenly King Lin, second is Blue Demon King, and third is Yixiang. Yixiang contributed all her texts, and for the first time put gate of creation theory on the table of technology. Over the past year she hasn't stepped out, fully integrating modern gene science and ancient Gu technique. Her achievements are worthy of the title of teacher. You don't need to go in, I'll go see her. Yes, the head stopped at the door. In front of Lin Zaiyasu, the laboratory door opened and closed behind him. He proceeded step by step along the special laboratory. It was special because it was different from traditional laboratories. Ordinary laboratories are bright, clean, and immaculate. But this laboratory was more like a botanical garden. On the left side there were many herbs. On the right side there were many poisonous insects. In front there was even a small stream. This season, wildflowers were blooming on both sides of the stream. A beautiful girl dressed in Dai ethnic attire squatted on the ground holding a flower branch. On her forehead there was a blood-colored butterfly mark, seemingly flowing on her fair forehead. It was such a serene and beautiful scene. Lin Zaiyasu quietly watched her for a long time, then gently coughed. Yixiang slowly turned her body. At first she seemed still deep in exploration, but suddenly a blush appeared on her face. Brother, in a flash, Yixiang sprang up, throwing herself into his embrace. Yixiang, what are you researching? Not researching anything, I was daydreaming. Yixiang buried her head in his embrace. Missing a man? Yes, I miss my brother. Kiss me? Lin Zaiyasu eagerly sought her lips. This kiss lasted for an unknown duration. Finally, Yixiang moved away from his lips and stared at him blankly. Brother, when did you come back? I set foot in this world less than 10 minutes ago, and you were the first I wanted to see. I feel like brother is just trying to make me happy, but what can I do? I'm happy, Yixiang giggled. Is that your bedroom? Lin Zaiasu's gaze turned to a side room. Brother, what do you want to do? Yixiang's face turned red and her body felt soft. I want to, Lin Zaiyasu answered directly with one word. No, I mean what do you want to do? Not that shameless thing, bad brother being a rogue, Yixiang panicked. Anyway, I've decided to be a rogue today, might as well be one for a while. Lin Zaiyasu picked up her waist and moved towards the bedroom. Brother, it's still daytime, Yixiang was so shy. It's all right, anyway most of our times have never been normal, the first time was in a cave. Don't say it, it's so embarrassing. More embarrassing things commenced in the bedroom. Yixiang was overwhelmed. So comfortable that her soul didn't know where it remained. Until it was dark. Lin Zaiyasu picked her up and placed her on his chest, her eyes slowly opened. Brother, I'll cook for you. No need, I have things to handle, I have to leave soon. Yixiang hugged him. She didn't say anything, but her body language clearly showed she didn't want to part with him. Chapter 971, Chapter 724, Ancient Divine Magic, Transferring to Yixiang Part 3. I've come back this time because there are some matters I need to handle. Soon, I'll have to leave again. Time is tight. Lin Zaiyasu gently caressed her hair. Is it very difficult over there? Yixiang said softly. Don't worry, I've already opened up the situation, and now what we need is just time. Lin Zaiyasu said. 2.5 years later, I'll be back and eliminate all unstable factors. By that time, we'll sleep until we naturally wake up, and let little Hu and little Wu fight for us to watch. Yixiang giggled. They won't fight, they are the best comrades now. Lin Zaiyasu picked her up, his lips pressed against her brow. Yixiang suddenly trembled, and in her sea of consciousness, a lot of information suddenly appeared, as if it was directly imprinted in her mind. Brother, this is the creation technique your father left behind. At that time, I felt it must be something on the cultivation path, and now I've confirmed it. This classic is derived from ancient divine magic, just opened a shortcut. Now I've given you the complete ancient divine magic, merging my understanding of this cultivation technique. It should provide some insights into your gene technology. The creation technique was the Myojung classic that Lin Zaiyasu, in the capacity of Yixiang's boyfriend, studied the most when he lived with her. It was due to the research on the creation technique that he first opened Yixiang's gate of creation, facilitating her unity of human and worm. This classic also achieved the breakthrough of the hidden dragon gene Nirvana project. However, this creation technique, after all, is the path opened by Myojung ancestors on the cultivation path, with deviations errors, and it's not complete. Now, Lin Zaiasu obtained the complete ancient divine magic from Gu Suixin, fused it with his own understanding, making it the most scientifically valuable, remarkable book at present. Giving it to Yixiang, in terms of cause and effect, was a repayment for the creation technique's causality. In terms of friendship, it also established the research path for his little wife. Yixiang focused her thoughts on her brain, feeling numb all over. "Brother, how did you pass so much knowledge to me? You just kissed me once." It's called the secondary deity imprint. As long as I know it, I can integrate it, package it, and then directly imprint it into your memory cells, Lin Zaiasu said. Maybe when you comprehend this theory and use modern technology, you can quickly enter the ancient divine demon realm. Then, you will be the pioneer of technological cultivation. After chatting endlessly for quite some time, in the reluctant separation, there was a second time of love. After this love, Yixiang was completely limp like mud. Lin Zaiasu finally left the laboratory. Outside, the sky was completely dark. With a movement of his foot, he rose into the air. The black and white colors shifted ever so slightly, and he was gone. Xinyu's gaze followed his silhouette into the lonely distance. Her face showed a trace of thought. Blue Demon King said, even though he hasn't broken into the Enlightenment realm, he has the power of the Enlightenment realm. Now I truly believe it. Heavenly King Zhu Feng sighed beside her. Xinyu gently turned her gaze. Saying nothing, she assumed naturally that no one saw. But Gu she saw and reminded directly. "Commander-in-Chief, I think you need to be wary of Xinyu. This little girl seems to be planning to run away." Xinyu sprang up. "You stinky snake, what nonsense are you spouting? When I fought alongside him, you were still wreaking havoc in the country. Why should they all reach Enlightenment realm and I can't?" Gu she gritted its teeth. "What do you mean I'm wreaking havoc?" Heavenly King Zhu Feng quickly mediated. "Xinyu, you have to think this way. They have their mission, you have yours. The paths are different, but the goals are the same." All right, Commander-in-Chief, save the political lecture. This girl is going on patrol." After this departure, Xinyu never returned. And Lin Zaiasu. Many people imagined that he should return to his old home in Tashan. He hasn't been home for almost a year. Who wouldn't have a heart yearning for it? Those working away from home for a year, even if there's barely any money in their pockets at New Year's, wouldn't they cross thousands of years to return home for a brief reunion? However, Lin Zaiasu was destined to break everyone's predictions. He didn't go home, didn't enter the Qianlong headquarters, didn't go to any woman in this world with whom he had ambiguous relations. He went to the northwest. Thousands of miles crossed, a few steps taken, he appeared at the foot of Kunlun Mountain. A high peak of Kunlun Mountain seemed utterly empty. Yet with his finger's gentle swipe, a Taoist temple appeared in the void, the three realms. He pushed open the seemingly long-sealed Taoist temple door. The once familiar desolate scene appeared before him again. The three realms were originally spirit tomb. Countless ancient heroic spirits made their home here. However, the world forgot the sacrifices of the heroic spirits, and so the heroic spirits severed roots and gradually perished. The spirit tomb was left utterly empty. Only one Taoist chamber, an azure lantern, a blind Taoist. 13 huge statues of human emperors still stood, each human emperor gazing at the cosmos. Beneath the human emperor statues, halfway up the mountain, a Taoist temple seemed to be devoid of any sign of life. With a particularly complex mood, Lin Zaiasu advanced step by step. The Taoist temple door opened gently. Inside, the lamp flickered slightly, and under the lamp, Taoist Lu Yun slowly turned his head, seeming to also have some doubts on his face. "You're back." "I'm back." "Why come back?" "For 2 reasons, Lin Zaiasu said. "The first thing, I want to take away this lamp." Lu Yun said, "Back then I handed this lamp to you and you refused it. Why change your mind today?" Chapter 972, Chapter 724, Ancient Divine Magic, Yixiang's Transfer /4. Because the times have changed. "What kind of change?" Lin Zaiasu said, "I found out that the people of that world, when invading this realm, are after this." "So what?" "So I plan to take this lamp out of this realm, and whoever wants it can have it." Lu Yun sighed softly. "Do you think since the enemy's target is the lamp, giving it to them will make them abandon their thoughts of invading this realm, using the worldly way of losing wealth to avoid calamity to achieve redemption for this realm?" "Will it?" Lin Zaiasu asked in return. Lu Yun said, From a moral and logical standpoint, your analysis might make sense, but the rules of this world do not always conform to logic. However, one thing is certain, Lin Zaiasu said, the kindling lamp as the array eye of the circulation array, that function is actually now useless. The circulation array is already broken. Whether or not there is an array eye means nothing to us. Lu Yun let out a long sigh. It seems you truly know a lot, and it is indeed as you say. The kindling lamp is indeed the array eye of this realm's circulation array. This wasn't told to him by Lu Yun. He found out from that world. And just as he said, the circulation array is actually already useless. In Daxia, all 3 passages are open, and globally, 8 passages have all opened. The core function of the circulation array was Judy passage. And now 11 passages are open. The outside world is connected. The heaven and earth essence has rapidly recovered, and in another 2 years, it will be no different from the desolate ancient realm. Judy passage now only exists in history, not to be returned to. The great array is gone. Does the array eye still have a use? As a key to the array path, it's useless. In fact, it has a negative effect, like being innocent yet guilty for possessing a treasure. It is because of this lamp's existence that the desolate ancient realm has the motivation to invade Daxia. Without this lamp, why must they enter the great Xia realm? In terms of heaven and earth essence, Daxia is just a small region in the great thousand world. In terms of cultivation foundation, it still remains as the land of the end of Dharma. Lu Yun raised his hand, the lamp on the table gracefully flew up, falling into his palm. His hand slightly lifted, offering the lamp to Lin Zaiasu. You just said you have 2 matters. What is the second one? The second matter is to use this lamp to reversely detect the array map of the former circulation array. Lu Yun's hand gently trembled. What's wrong? Are you surprised, Taoist? Lin Zaiasu said. Lu Yun, this is a heavenly Tao taboo. What happens if you violate it? Lin Zaiasu asked. Violating it will bring heavenly punishment. Lin Zaiasu raised his gaze, for example, blinding your eyes. Lu Yun stared at him blankly, his gaze empty, yet indescribably eerie. Lin Zaiasu said, Taoist, today we are under the kindling lamp. Although Emperor Kun's kindling lamp is no longer what it once was, its ability to shield from the heavenly Tao still exists. Can't we be honest with each other? Lu Yun let out a long sigh. It's not a waste for this poor Taoist to die, but little Su, you. At this stage, you are not yet at the point to touch this level of taboo. Not yet. In 2 years, the catastrophe will come. Can I wait until our home is destroyed to drift through the river of time, slowly strengthening myself on the long path of cultivation, waiting until all conditions are ripe, under the banner of avenging my family, to perform that sole redemption of making amends after losing? Lu Yun sighed again, but said nothing. Taoist, I know you are not human. You are just the lamp spirit of the kindling lamp, but during your journey in the human world, you have also gained humanity and you will also reflect, Lin Zaiasu said. Emperor Kun is your master. He is everything in your heart, but Taoist, you need to understand that the true meaning of the kindling lamp of the human race is not just history, but passing the flame from generation to generation. Cooperating with me to connect with this last human emperor is the meaning of the lamp spirit's existence. You really know, you truly know. Lu Yun let out a soft breath. But I still don't know why you would suffer heavenly punishment. Chapter 973, Chapter 725, Reversing the Zhou Tian Array Map. Lu Yun said, the reason I suffered heavenly punishment is because I realized the great circulation array had reached its limit. I wanted to convey information to Qianlong to prompt repairs to the array. However, this violated the original intent of the heavenly Tao, which is why my eyes were blinded, and the part of my memory regarding the layout of the array was crushed. This heavenly Tao, does it want to break free? Lin Zaiasu asked. Yes, this is the conflict between heaven and humans vying for the way. 1,000,000 years ago, Emperor Kun used the great circulation array to isolate the heavenly and human realms, which was a compromise from heavenly Tao to human path, leading this realm into the decline of spiritual energy, entirely under human path control. However, the heavenly Tao is cyclical and endless. Its time of compromise was only for 1,000,000 years, and now it wants to break free. It wants to reintegrate into the laws of the heavenly Tao world. Hence, the great circulation array is due for destruction. Anyone who tries to stop this process will be annihilated by the heavenly Tao. Master, I do not intend to isolate the heavenly and human realms again. Lu Yun frowned. There are two ways to vie for the way between heaven and humans. The first is to delineate a space, which is what Emperor Kun did. He delineated a space using great divine power, viewing heavenly Tao cultivators as monsters. This method did indeed win the human clan a million years of independent space, but ultimately it's not the right path. Therefore, I intend to use another method. What method? If it wants to vie, then vie. Open and transparently vie with honor and candor, Lin Zaiasu said. Defeat them in every domain on every level. No longer view heavenly Tao cultivators as monsters, but instead look at them squarely and then down upon them. Lu Yun was completely shocked. Emperor Kun, the hero of the human clan of yore, only had the fortitude to delineate a space. Little Su Yu. Throughout a million years, history has taught us many things, Lin Zaiasu said. For instance, in the past, Daxia country had a long period of isolationism. During that time, people tended to believe that those who could defend the nation were heroes. But today, Daxia opens its doors, confidently embraces challenges, and still stands at the pinnacle of the world, facing strong foes without fear, daring to slay demons, which is the foundation of the human clan. Lu Yun slowly raised his gaze, looking at the 13 statues of the human emperors for a long time before finally turning around. Little Su, since you have made such a grand vow, then I will revert back to being a lamp spirit and accompany you on this new path. How about it? No. No, Lu Yun was surprised. This lamp serves another purpose. Its end will be destruction, Lin Zaiasu said, but your end is not to be destroyed with it. You want to use this lamp to trap and kill the ancient wilderness? Lu Yun asked softly. Lin Zaiasu smiled. Lu Yun also smiled lightly. Perhaps this is the biggest difference between you and Emperor Kun. He is an unwavering earth, while you are the ethereal, unrestrained drifting cloud. Fine, I won't ask. Today, as a lamp spirit, I will do the last thing for you, reinfer the great circulation array. Today, you are the lamp holder. If the heavenly Tao erases my spiritual sense, you shall remove my spiritual body directly, to prevent me from becoming an anomaly of the heavenly Tao. Rest assured it won't happen. Lin Zaiasu raised his hand, holding a lamp as well. Lu Yun was greatly shocked. You also have your own kindling lamp. Yes, my kindling lamp can deduce the true method of the human path, which cannot be deduced outside, but in this heroic spirit tomb it can. Today, this heroic spirit tomb is not under the jurisdiction of the heavenly Tao. Lu Yun's body spun and entered the kindling lamp of Emperor Kun. Inside the heroic spirit tomb, a wall lit up. This wall held a universe within it, embedding numerous circulation runes, each rune representing a world, a place name. Emperor Kun's kindling lamp slowly rotated in front of this wall, searching for the base of the great circulation array severed by the heavenly Tao. A line lit up and extended. Another line lit up and extended. Lin Zaiasu sat cross-legged. In his sea of consciousness, two primordial spirits had their respective tasks. One primordial spirit held a lamp, deducing the human Tao true skill, completely shielding against the heavenly Tao. The other primordial spirit sat before the heart mirror, analyzing his space law flower. Why did he go to great pains, even willing to fight with Kangyuan Liui, just to win a month of time for himself? It was because he needed to accomplish 3 major tasks. First, to take the kindling lamp. Second, to decode the Great Zhou Heavenly Array map, which had long been lost, without a place to find. Only through this method, reverse tracing, is there hope to obtain a complete Great Zhou Heavenly Array map. The third is the enlightenment fruit of the space law. Entering Kangyuan was his gamble with Kangyuan Liu. The gamble that Lin Zaiasu made is that if he won, he could enter Kangyuan not as a prisoner, but as a guest. And he won the gamble. Although theoretically, Kangyuan Liu should abide by this, past experiences told him that relying on others would ultimately be tragic. He needed to use this rare time gap to advance his cultivation, and space law held the greatest hope for forming a Tao fruit in the short term. After all, the space law Tao flower had already withered. Day after day passed. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days had gone by. The primordial spirit of Lin Zaiasu before the heart mirror suddenly stood up. As it stood, the space law Tao flower petals floated and fell, and a crystal-clear Tao fruit appeared within his body, rotating thousands of cycles. His sea of consciousness, his sea of reincarnation, instantaneously changed completely. Lin Zaiasu's eyes slowly opened, and on the wall in front of him, a complete array map had just finished drawing its last stroke. Array base 360. Not the mystic sky system arrays 36, nor the small circulation arrays 108, but 360. His mind started up like a computer, decrypting each of the 360 array base points, distributed all over the world. Chapter 974, Chapter 725, Reversing the Zhou Tian Array Map 2. Another primordial spirit also activated the array path knowledge. Through these 360 array bases and the special senses on these bases, he finally truly touched the great cycle array path. Before him, there was no need to repair these damaged array bases. In fact, the scale of such repairs was also unimaginable. Fortunately, he didn't need to repair them anew. All he needed was the perfection of the array path knowledge. Do you remember it now? Taoist Lu Yun's expression was exceptionally weary, as if he had exhausted all his spirit. All remembered, you can clear it now. Taoist Lu Yun's figure wavered, the kindling lamp turned, and all the patterns on the wall vanished completely. He emerged from the kindling lamp, returning to his original form as he landed. The kindling lamp turned and landed in Lin Ziasu's hand. Lin Ziasu absorbed both lamps into his body. Taoist, do you have a place to go in the future? Rest assured, I do have a place to go, Taoist Lu Yun said. The divine land is filled with heroic spirits. Surely they will not oppose, especially with this unusual heroic spirit of mine. Taoist, you are formidable, Lin Ziasu laughed. In fact, you have another destination. Where? Liulin Temple, Lin Ziasu said. You left Liulin Temple that day, leaving my second uncle to guard it for 20 years. My second aunt is almost like a stone waiting for her husband. Haha, Lu Yun laughed. All right, this can be seen as fulfilling a karmic responsibility. I'll return to Liulin Temple so your second uncle and aunt can reunite. In leisure, I'll ponder scriptures. In war, the Taoist descends the mountain, living like a real person. Wonderful, splendid. Let's go. Let's go. The two of them stepped out of the three realms side by side. The door of the Taoist temple in the three realms closed for good. From then on, there would be no more three realms in the world, simply because the three realms no longer had heroic spirits. All heroic spirits returned to the mortal world, including this generation, the previous generation, and even those from 1,000,000 years ago. Lu Yun drifted back to Liulin Temple. Lin Ziasu lingered, watching his figure, then suddenly moved his foot, shot into the sky and flew to another place. Kun Kang. There were only 4 days left in the 1-month period. He had another place to visit, the Kun Kang Two Realms Mountain. Today's Kun Kang was no longer as it had been. The Kun Kang locks from that day were all unlocked. Because the people of Kun Kang were no longer the objects of prevention from this world, but rather the battle allies of Qianlong. The passage was open, and both sides were changing rapidly. Even Huixian Town had extra inns dedicated to receiving visitors from Kun Kang, and the markets were full of trade between the two realms. Apart from a symbolic registration, there were no more barriers in the passage. Lin Ziasu, dressed in garb from this world one moment, crossed the gate of Kun Kang, and his outfit instantly transformed into that of the locals, thanks to the clothes he acquired from the ancient wilderness at the ancient divine ruins. These garments could adjust to any size and change into any form. Upon entering Kun Kang, he rose into the air, moving directly to the Two Realms Mountain. Everywhere in Kun Kang displayed signs of merging with the outside world, but only Two Realms Mountain remained unchanged through the millennia. As Lin Ziasu entered the rear mountain, a butterfly suddenly appeared before him. He looked at the butterfly and smiled slightly, and the butterfly's wings shimmered into a flower. Is it you? It's me. Come. With a swoosh, Lin Ziasu glided over the boundless winds and clouds of the Two Realms Mountain, landing in front of an old man, who was none other than Gu Jian Yaochen. This is the wine from back then. Gu Jian Yaochen lifted his hand, tossing half a bottle of wine over, couldn't bear to drink the remaining half, so today I'll use it to host you. How can I drink it now that you've said that? Lin Ziasu replied, lifting his hand. Didn't have time to stock up, only had this much left on me, you enjoy it first. This time he too only had brought Gu Jian Yaochen a single item of wine, just 6 bottles. As he said, he hadn't had time to procure more. Gu Jian Yaochen was delighted. You drink mine and I drink yours, cheers. The two clinked bottles gently and took a big gulp. I've heard some news from the outside. You ultimately found the 3-character bone book human volume, realizing the defense of this world, Gu Jian Yaochen said. This was the plan he had made with Lin Zaiasu back then. He instructed Lin Zaiasu to leave Kunkang and seek out the three realms to find the three-character bone book human volume. Because the three-character bone book was the only divine artifact capable of saving this world. And later, although his true form couldn't leave the two realms mountain, his primordial spirit transformed into a butterfly. He still learned about the outside world, realizing that Lin Zaiasu had summoned the heroic spirits to fulfill the world's protection. This also indirectly contributed to his joy. The old man was so pleased he drank several bottles alone in one night, stopping only when he couldn't bear to drink more. It wasn't me who found it, it was you. Lin Zaiasu smiled gently at him. Gu Jian Yaochen's eyes flickered. You, have you discovered some secrets? Yes, I was in the heavenly abyss, killed by you 3 times. If not for my primordial spirit having another strength, I would have been gone. You didn't tell me that the three-character bone book human volume was stolen by the corpse you severed. Gu Jian Yaochen sighed softly. You only see the surface. Actually, it wasn't theft. Not theft, you gave it to him. Who wouldn't want the three-character bone book? I had a premonition that I wouldn't escape from those people's grasp. If the bone book remained with me, it would surely be lost. So, I severed the corpse, allowing it to carry the bone book and escape into the heavenly abyss. Anyone entering from the ancient side of the heavenly abyss would surely die, but the bone book would at least not fall into their hands. Sir, your life's efforts are truly painstaking, Lin Zaiasu said, leaving the three-character bone book as a spark for the human clan, and at Sword Gate Pass, to avoid an innocent death, you suffered the pain of separation. I deeply admire you for that. Chapter 975, Chapter 725, Reverse Tracing the Zhou Tian Array Map, Part 3. Under Sword Gate Pass. Gu Jian Yaochen gulped down a mouthful of wine and suddenly coughed. This cough was rather awkward. Kid, are you looking for trouble? How am I looking for trouble? Lin Zaiasu said. Senior, I told her that your separation was not because you abandoned her, but because the sect was in trouble and you didn't want her to be dragged down. She was moved to tears, left Luohu a temple, and regrew her beautiful long hair. If it weren't for the fact that this world forbids the entry of a holding the way, it might not be me standing before you today, but her. Bang! The wine bottle in Gu Jian Yaochen's hand suddenly shattered. The shards of the bottle along with half a bottle of wine were suspended in midair, looking lost and helpless. You met her. Not only did I meet her, but also another person you've met, a very special person to you. Who? Your daughter Feng Jai. The glass shards floating in front of Gu Jian Yaochen fell to the ground with a crash. His lips trembled slightly. My daughter. Lin Zaiasu said. That day you said she had a familiar reincarnation bloodline, and you even taught her the move, Other Shore Flower. Father-in-law, you must believe there is destiny in the unseen. The familiarity you sensed is real. The move you taught her was her mother's most prized technique. Gu Jian Yaochen stared at him blankly. Kid, what did you call me? Father-in-law, this is really a twist of fate. I truly didn't have such intentions initially, but it was your own reminder that led me to ask her for a drop of blood, to decrypt the reincarnation law and thereby comprehend Other Shore Flower by following your instructions. So this. Bang! Gu Jian Yaochen slapped himself across the face. His mouth was skewed. How absurd, how shameless. Who could have known that woman was his daughter? He let this kid, who seemed quite likable, take a drop of blood from his senior apprentice sister. Was it too much? That wasn't his concern, but now he realized this prank he played hurt his own daughter. Father-in-law. Don't call me father-in-law. I treated you as a brother. What did you take me for? Gu Jian Yaochen glared angrily. I'm innocent, father-in-law. This was all your arrangement. Smack. Another slap, still targeting his own face. Father-in-law, Feng Jai carries the true reincarnation seal. Gu Jian Yaochen suddenly lifted his head. Father-in-law should know, the true reincarnation seal has the potential to breed the reincarnation Tao seal, and the reincarnation sect, lacking the Tao seal, is no longer one of the 6 paths and has fallen to one of the 9 gates. Thus, mother-in-law has returned to the reincarnation sect overnight from Great Wilderness Jiangnan to protect our daughter. She once told me our family, one path, whether it's 3,000 years or 1,000,000, none should be missing. Gu Jian Yaochen's eyes were filled with radiant light. This light might be called the light of hope. The true reincarnation seal, born out of regret, her 3 seals, due to my emergence, one has been eliminated. Although I don't know what the remaining two regrets are, I dare to boldly speculate that one must be reserved for you. For me. Because she entered this world searching for her father, who, without being found, turned to bones. Father-in-law, think about it, what is her deepest regret? Not recognizing her father and daughter. So father-in-law, though the scenery atop Two Realms Mountain is beautiful, the mortal world is ultimately where you belong, Lin Zaiasu said. Gu Jian Yaochen let out a long sigh. You little rascal, do you really think I am unwilling to leave the scenery of Two Realms Mountain? I am already one with the array, how can I leave? Lin Zaiasu said, Father-in-law can sever the three corpses, but cannot cut off a lifetime of ties. Sever, Gu Jian Yaochen asked. Father-in-law, the situation has changed greatly. The circulation array constructed by Array Sect has indeed protected countless generations by forming a defense line for that world and the Kun Kang spirits. However, now that the outer circulation array is broken, this array is in fact meaningless. It's no longer about closing off and locking away to protect life, but about facing the battle openly. It's time to let go. Let go, let go. Let go of my father's heavy burden. Let go of the city built from the blood and flesh of 100,000 disciples of Array Sect. Gu Jian Yaochen murmured. Sometimes, what's let go of is just a bond. The true legacy of the ancestors of Array Sect is not about gaining or losing one city or land, but the continuation of bloodlines, of familial ties, of humanity. The struggle remains and will continue to exist every day of our lives. Gu Jian Yaochen looked up to the sky, gazing at the floating clouds for a long, long time. Finally, he slowly lowered his head. Little Su, you are the only heir of Array Sect. There is something you must not miss. Let your primordial spirit enter my abode. All right. Lin Zaiasu's primordial spirit entered Gu Jian Yaochen's sea of consciousness. Spreading through the sea of consciousness, he saw another circulation array map. Half an hour later, the primordial spirit withdrew. Got it memorized. Memorized? Lin Zaiasu said. Father-in-law, in cutting this, are you severing the array body? Gu Jian Yaochen, having become one with the array, could be considered the array body. If he couldn't give up this body, he could not leave Two Realms Mountain. Now to leave, he must adopt the method of slaying of the three corpses to sever this acquired array body. Yes, this severance could be considered as deceiving my teacher and betraying my ancestors. I only hope that my father's spirit in heaven will not be saddened by this unfilial son. His form suddenly shot up, and he stretched his hand into the air. All the clouds in Two Realms Mountain swirled, mountains and rivers swirled, transforming into a shocking sword. Sever. With a hiss, a deep scar appeared in the sky, flattening Two Realms Mountain. Chapter 976, Chapter 725, Reverse Tracing the Zhou Tian Array Map, Part 4. Gu Jian Yaochen rose into the air. Sire, I'm off. Remember to get me some good wine. If you don't bring wine to Reincarnation Sect, your father-in-law won't let you in. The wind rose, the person faded. Gu Jian Yaochen broke out of the realm. This great array is now gone. However, the aftermath of the great array can still last for a while, at least 3 to 5 years, and people from the other side still can't come over. When the great array completely dissipates, it's another version. What version is that? Holding the way can enter. The world will be in chaos. Who still cares about whether a leaking house has walls? Lin Zaiasu left Kunkang. It was nearly sunset. Lin Zaiasu took out the cell phone which had been stored in the inner space for nearly a year, glanced at the date, time. April 25, lunar March 22. 2 sessions of seclusion easily sent away 2 months. Time is starting to become worthless. Lin Zaiasu sighed lightly and walked to a mall. Yuxian Town also had malls. He picked up a bunch of daily supplies, focusing on hundreds of boxes of the era's purest old wine, not bothering to care if the mall owner would be spooked. With a finger, a pile of daily supplies disappeared into thin air. Then Lin Zaiasu left the mall and broke through space in 1 step. In the amazed eyes of countless people, he vanished without a trace. In the sky, Lin Zaiasu stared at the phone. When he just paid, he realized some messages had arrived. Opening the messages, Miao Ruolan occupied many lines. I miss you. I never missed you this much before because I knew you were in this world. Perhaps today at sunset you would suddenly appear in front of me, but now I know you are no longer in this world. Your phone in that world has no signal. You might not receive my messages, but I still want to chat with you. tell you that I'm waiting at the Fengcheng detective agency you personally built. The weather's cold, are you cold? It's New Year, I didn't go home this year. I celebrated with Zier and we made your favorite braised eggplant. One by one, spanning a whole year. The latest was from 3 days ago. Honey, I'm here again. I used to not dare to call you honey, but now I don't care. Indeed, no matter how many times Miao Ruolan made love with him, she truly never called him honey. Not that she was unwilling, but because she always felt someone else was more suited to this title. Lin Ziasu tossed the phone into the inner space, taking a few steps. The next moment, he appeared at the entrance of Fengcheng Detective Agency. Inside Fengcheng Detective Agency, Miao Ruolan and Zhou Dai sat on the sofa drinking tea. Suddenly, as if having a sixth sense, Miao Ruolan's gaze fell outside through the glass window, her hand shaking fiercely, the cup slipping from her hand. Zhou Zai, quick-eyed and dexterous, caught the falling teacup, her gaze following Miao Ruolan's gaze. Zhou Zai sprang up, reaching the door. Hands suddenly pulling open. Brother Lin, it's really you, you're back. Zhou Zai's voice changed in tone. Lin Ziasu smiled. Nearly a year apart, Zier, you've become prettier. Zhou Zai blushed. You should praise Sister Lan, she's the real beauty, look. Miao Ruolan stood by the coffee table, seeming dumbfounded, but the blush on her face, the excitement in her eyes, was truly striking. That night, Zhou Zai went to Li Fang's place. Their jokes were quite wild, mainly focusing on the point that Brother Lin is a cultivator, must be incredible at that, wonder if Sister Ruolan can manage alone, need any help. That night Ruolan went a bit crazy, mosaic paved from the stairs to the room. Forget the detailed process. Anyway, the next morning, she went downstairs holding the railing, her face blushing and her heart racing as she saw strangers passing by outside. And Lin Ziasu, who did all this, hugged her for quite a while. Ruolan, today I'm going home to take a look, tomorrow I have to leave again. Chapter 977, Chapter 726, Entering Kangyuan. After bidding farewell to Ruolan, he set out on the road back home. The 10-mile journey felt more like a brief step to him, yet he seemed to savor the long-lost feeling of returning home, walking through once familiar streets, buying some snacks that tasted like home, munching as he walked. Up ahead was Tashan Lake, where the lake continued to shimmer with green ripples, the little cottages by the lake now overgrown with weeds. Catherine won't be coming back, at least not for now. Perhaps she never will. Bits and pieces of life left a mark in the hearts of cultivators, while some inevitably faded away with time. Old Tashan village remained quietly asleep. Lin Ziasu arrived soundlessly at his own courtyard, without alerting anyone. In the yard, 2 women were hanging clothes to dry. Lin Ziasu paused slightly. One of them was little Yi, and the other one was none other than a woman he had seen in a photo on his phone. His brother's fiancée, named Zhang Yao. Zhang Yao turned around, noticed him. Who are you looking for? Little Yi turned around, smiled. Ziasu, you're back. There was a sound of a chair tipping over inside, quick footsteps, and Mom appeared at the door. Ziasu. She rushed forward and hugged him tightly. Zhang Yao blushed, becoming excited. It was actually him. The legendary figure in this world, her future brother-in-law, Lin Ziasu. Known worldwide for his detective skills, his battle prowess rivals that of top-level Qianlong King, has defeated the 9-headed snake, destroyed Utopia, and saved Daxia from peril. A true hero of the people. Mom, are you well? I'm good, we've been home, what could happen? Mom replied. Sire, after you left there's been a major event, your brother got married. This is your sister-in-law, Zhang Yao. Sister-in-law, I'll call you Sister Yao then, Lin Ziasu said. All right, Zhang Yao was very happy. When did you and my brother get married? Last November, originally planned for May Day, but the May Day battles weren't over so it was postponed until November, Zhang Yao said. Big brother and sister-in-law got married and I didn't come back. Lin Ziasu extended his hand, a card between his 2 fingers. Consider this my wedding gift for you both. Ziasu, what are you saying? We're all family, no need for gifts. Sister Yao, take it. Since I'll be away for long periods, you'll have to manage this home. Besides, I don't need this stuff. The card's password is easy to remember, it's... Zhang Yao looked towards Mom. Mom said, your brother gave it, you should take it. Thank you, Ziasu, then I'll accept it. Zhang Yao took the bank card. Mom, I'm going to buy some groceries. All right, you go. Zhang Yao went out to buy groceries, then Mom finally asked, "Sir, how much money is in that card?" "Not much, about 5 million. "What?" Mom's expression completely changed. She wasn't unaware of her son's generosity. Previously, he had given them tens of thousands at a time, so she estimated this card likely contained a similar amount. But who would have thought it was 5 million? "Mom, actually, now in our family, money is not something worth being surprised about." Lin Asu took out another card. "I made this card in Dad's name. There's 30 million on it. Spend it as you wish." Mom took a deep breath. Many people say that 2.5 years later, who knows what the sky will be like, what the earth will be like, money might genuinely become useless. But let's not talk about that. "Sir, how are things on your end?" Lin Asu laughed. "You won't believe it when I say it. I met the emperor there, got appointed to a big official position, was given a huge mansion. There's dozens of servants inside. They don't need to do anything all day, just ponder over what this family head likes to eat." "You, stop trying to fool your mom. Everyone says going there is 9 times out of 10 a perilous ordeal. But you're doing fine, being treated like an official with a group of people serving you. Do you think your mom believes you?" The door creaked open. Little Yi came in with a cup of tea. "Here." She handed the cup to Lin Asu. Her face bore a smile. Neither was the smile a few degrees more than usual, nor less than usual. Mom observed the smile, feeling slightly uneasy inside for some reason. Why wasn't her daughter-in-law excited? This was unlike those couples who find freshness in brief separations. Why was it different this time? Oh right, perhaps she is getting a bit senile and didn't think to create opportunities for the young couple. Thinking of this, she hurriedly stood up. "Sir, you talk with little Yi. I heard Taoist Lu Yun is back. This Taoist is particularly mysterious. I'm going to Liu Lin Temple to draw a lot." Standing up and heading out, she abruptly stopped. A beautiful woman appeared at the door from nowhere, smiling sweetly at her. "Auntie." "You are?" "I'm little Su's classmate, named Ding Ruishui." In the yard, Lin Ziasu stood up. Little Yi also stood smiling. "Mom, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it." "All right, keep your classmate for a meal. Your sister-in-law will be back soon." Mom went out the door. Ding Ruishui walked into the yard, gracefully coming up to little Yi. "This is little Yi, right?" "Yes," little Yi smiled. "I'm little Su's classmate. My name is Ding Ruishui," Ding Ruishui said. Lin Ziasu laughed. "We're not classmates. We share the same bed." "Oh my God." Ding Ruishui was shocked inside, quickly explained. "Little Yi," he said, "Tong Chuang," meaning classmates, literally same window. He has a pronunciation issue with Mandarin. He's been like this since school." "What are you explaining?" "No worries." Lin Ziasu reached out his hand under the grapevine's shadows, held Ding Ruishui's waist. Chapter 978, Chapter 726, Entering Kangyuan Part 2. "Hey, hey," Ding Ruishui was strumming chaotically. His lips landed on hers. Ding Ruishui's eyes widened in disbelief. This little C, so outrageous, kissing me right in front of his own wife. Is there any bottom line? But why is little Yi smiling so sweetly? You scoundrel, how am I supposed to explain this?" Ding Ruishui was both embarrassed and anxious. "Explain what? Come on, let's go to my bedroom for a little time apart to rekindle the romance." Lin Ziasu directly picked her up, not caring if her legs were twitching, and carried her into the house, upstairs. "Lin Ziasu, you bastard." Ding Ruishui finally couldn't hold back, calling him out by name. "You're messing around like this, it's too much. She's a robot." 5 words. Ding Ruishui was completely stunned. "Robot, don't get it, or never thought of it." Lin Ziasu's hand fell on her bulging item. Ding Ruishui looked towards the door. Little Yi came in. "Wanna do a?" "Yes." "Deal with her or deal with me?" Little Yi asked. "Deal with her." "Oh, I'll get a towel to pad her bottom." "Good." Little Yi went out and quickly came back with a large bath towel, laying it on the bed. Ding Ruishui was half tucked against him, her eyes fixed on little Yi as she moved around. Little Yi straightened up, smiling. "Should I go out?" "Stand by the door and watch it. If anyone comes in, say I'm discussing things with a classmate." Wait a minute." Ding Ruishui jumped up. Little Yi stopped. "Shake hands." Ding Ruishui extended her hand. Little Yi gently shook it. At that moment, Ding Ruishui's water power flowed through her skin, entering her body, making her finally aware that little Yi was truly a robot. She let out a long breath. "Too thrilling, too scary. You scoundrel little C, luckily I don't have heart disease, come comfort me a little. This episode of comfort was stimulation enough. The most thrilling aspect was that it happened in Lin Ziyasu's house. Ding Ryushui actually never imagined she'd pull such a stunt at his house. She'd just gone too long without a good time with him, couldn't hold back, and when she saw him return home, she thought of appearing briefly in front of him, planning to send him a message, and arrange a rendezvous at a hotel in the county town. Who would have thought of pulling such a stunt at home? Absolutely inappropriate. Now it's appropriate. But constantly worried about the sound she made alarming the neighbors, constantly worried his mother might come upstairs. That constant worry made it even more exciting. The large bath towel ended up completely soaked. Finally, the long-term anguish was released. She felt thoroughly comfortable, snuggled in Lin Ziyasu's arms, whispering. She was actually in the Tashan Channel. Originally, she was part of the South Sea Defense, but after the heroic spirits protected the nation, the enemy temporarily didn't dare enter Daxia, which reduced the need for many people at the South Sea Defense. Her master Li Chushui brought her to the Tashan Defense, chose a peak within the channel to transform into Chunshui Palace, where everyone practiced diligently, preparing for future battles. She had already broken through to observing heaven. Although only 1 star, she was a standard observing heaven. Now you're not anymore, Lin Ziyasu said. Not? Ah, Ding Ryushui screamed in surprise. I'm 9-star observing heaven. How did this happen? Now she only just realized she'd already reached 9-star observing heaven. That's the benefit of making love with me. During the process, your husband not only irrigates your barren land, but also tweaks things a bit, elevating your cultivation by 8 levels. Lin Ziyasu said. Unfortunately, it can only raise by 8 levels. Enlightenment realm ultimately requires your own understanding. Oh my God, little hubby, you're so godlike. Even sleeping can raise cultivation. Hey, why not try it on someone else? Don't talk nonsense. Lin Ziyasu shot her a look. How is it nonsense? Getting on the cultivation road makes you realize how tough it is. Just to advance 1 level, countless people have their hair turning white, like Hua Maioi, whose primordial spirit is just shy of a breakthrough, endlessly stuck like my master. Hey, that's too much now. Lin Ziyasu quickly stopped her. Ding Ryushui chuckled, stopped, got up and got dressed. You're leaving. If I don't leave, what then? If your mom finds out that you're pinning down your classmate in broad daylight with your wife handing towels, she'll surely kill you. Ding Ryushui smiled sweetly, tidying her clothes, raising her hand, a drop of water morphing into a mirror floating in her palm, checking her brows. There's still a bit of residual springtime charm. Let me drink some cold tea. Drank a cup of the cold tea on the table, and most of the springtime charm faded, leaving. Gracefully heading downstairs, Mother was already back. In the yard, she greeted her mom, greeted Zhang Yao, who was cooking in the kitchen, saying there's something with Master, skipping the meal, and took her leave. Lin Ziyasu stayed at home for 3 days. On the 4th day, it was the agreed date with Kangyuan Liu. He said goodbye to his parents, to Zhang Yao, and pretended to say goodbye to little Yi, once more embarking on the road to the other world. This time he didn't alert anyone. A move through Myojiang Peacock Valley, the next moment bypassed the valley, appearing in Yidu. Top 9 Extremes platform. Originally, there was a person, Kangyuan Liu. But the next moment, Kangyuan Liu vanished from the platform. Lin Ziyasu's silhouette appeared behind him. No one knew how he appeared. But Lin Ziyasu just gave a slight smile. Senior brother, returning to Kangyuan now. Senior brother, if you called me master, perhaps I could understand your ulterior motives, but calling me senior brother, what does that mean? Kangyuan Liu said coldly. Lin Ziyasu slowly turned back, with an innocent expression on his face. Ahem. The main reason is that a top 9 Extremes platform, after all, I defeated you. If I called you master, I'm afraid you'd lose face. I hope senior brother can understand this junior brother's painstaking intentions. Chapter 979, Chapter 726, Entering Kangyuan Part 3. Kangyuan Liu's face was shrouded in black mist. Are you also feeling embarrassed? When you say that, how can I not be? The noble Kangyuan Liu, the renowned 3rd executor, I must be cursed to be wrestling with such a rare creature in this haunted space of 9 Extremes platform. Past events are full of hatred. Kangyuan Liu raised his hand, and suddenly a portal appeared in the void. The two of them took a step forward, entered the portal, and disappeared right under everyone's eyes. The entire Yidu, countless people, were silent as chickens. The origins of Marquis Zui, is this not certain now? Someone exhaled lightly. Kangyuan Liui opened a heavenly window in public and took him back to Kangyuan. If this isn't confirmation, then what in the world could be? Another said. Someone sighed. To say this Marquis Zui, why dares he to act so recklessly in Jiangnan? Why dares he to disturb the demon domain? Why dares he to repeatedly harm in the Heart Pavilion? Why dares he to lay flat the Kaiyan-Du sect beneath the Wan-Du sect? It turns out the answer is here. As a world traveler of Kangyuan, what on earth would he fear to do? The news spread like wildfire, spreading across the world. The Emperor Huangdu sat in the Golden Hall, his expression ever-changing. In Kinkyu, the clan leader's eyes sparkled with brilliance. In the Wan-Du sect, Lord Li Xinyu gazed at the sky, silent for a long time. Master, Cheng Yi said softly, now that his identity is truly confirmed indeed from Kangyuan, then there's a question. Let's hear it. The Lord lowered his gaze. The deeds he committed, are they really his intention as the world traveler, or are they the true intentions of Kangyuan? The Lord's heart skipped a beat. You mean to say Kangyuan has designs against my Wan-Du sect? No, that's not how I understand it, Cheng Yi replied. If you look at all he has done since he emerged, I've put together a rough pattern. His posture against the Heart Tao, Heart Gate is very clear, provoking again and again, showing strong opposition, while towards our sect, his opposition isn't as strong. It's simply that the Kaiyan-Du sect met with him by chance, not that he sought out conflict. Li Xinyu inexplicably felt a wave of relief. Any sect that finds out they are targeted by Kangyuan would surely feel cold to the core. Even the Wan-Du sect, one of the 19 celestial beams, would feel the same. Hearing Cheng Yi's words, Li Xinyu thought it really was. His stance against Heart Tao, Heart Gate, is too obvious. His debut battle was stepping over Heart Pavilion to rise up. Afterwards, he even dismantled several pavilions of Heart Pavilion. The demon domain is also related to Heart Gate. The affairs in Lanzhou as well were related to Heart Gate. The Kaiyan-Du sect ran into him merely by bad luck. Li Xinyu said, you mean, the real force Kangyuan wants to target is Heart Tao? Master might consider, does Kangyuan have any reason to target Heart Tao, Heart Gate? Cheng Yi said. A question. Li Xinyu was silent for a long time. Does Kangyuan have any reason to target Heart Tao, Heart Gate? If viewed from common logic, the possibility is indeed slim. What is Kangyuan? It's the true towering beams that set the rules on the cultivation path. The rules of the entire cultivation path are set by him. The 19 celestial beams stand tall at the sky's edge. Are they not the cultivation framework created by Kangyuan? What reason could he have to target the framework he himself established? However, she is not an ordinary person. She knows that Heart Tao has indeed already violated some of Kangyuan's taboos. Heart Tao's rise is astonishingly rapid, and its connections with the world are astonishingly deep. A Heart Tao by itself may be far from enough to challenge Kangyuan, but if it connects with the other 18 celestial beams outside of Kangyuan, can it truly not contend with Kangyuan? Moreover, it has connected with countless secular dynasties representing the human path. Would Kangyuan be willing to see this? Would Kangyuan be willing to see the cultivation world he leads thriving, but he absolutely does not wish to see any particular sect, particular path, particular gate connecting with other forces to form a superpower capable of challenging it. Thus, Kangyuan truly has reason to take action against Heart Tao, Heart Gate. In Dawang country, Marquis Zui emerged abruptly, everywhere obstructing Heart Gate's grand plans. How could it possibly represent just this immature Marquis Zui? It is a microcosm of Kangyuan's grand moves in this world. Cheng Yi, what are you really thinking? Share it all with me, Li Xinyu said. Cheng Yi spoke eloquently. Kangyuan's moves against Heart Tao, Heart Gate are indisputable. And with the revelation of Heart Gate's arrangements in various major sects, Heart Tao, Heart Gate has indeed become a taboo on the cultivation path. At present, in each major sect, no one publicly attacks Heart Tao, Heart Gate. Because of the prestige of 2 of the 19 celestial beams, everyone is unwilling to be the first to stick their neck out. However, on the cultivation path, where forces are interwoven, it is ultimately a game for the brave. Daring to fight leads to success. Why shouldn't our Wan-Du sect seize the opportunity and fire the first shot against Heart Tao? The shot fired with responses from all over the cultivation path. If we can take down Heart Tao, wouldn't our Wan-Du sect rise to prominence in one battle? It will surely gain Kangyuan's favor. On that day, should there be a vacancy in the 6 paths, Why can't our Wandu sect replace Heart Tao, and within the 6 paths open a poison path? It needs be known in ancient times, there were indeed great powers who created a poison path, called the ancient poison monarch. Li Xinyu was greatly shaken. To replace Heart Tao, Wandu sect breaking through and entering the Tao. This has been her heartfelt wish for tens of thousands of years. Ancient poison monarch. And within her flows the blood of this ancient forerunner of the poison path. Watching her excited expression, Chang Yi's heart was also racing several times faster than usual. Chapter 980, Chapter 726, Entering Kangyuan Part 4. In her heart she thought, "Little husband, anyway, I've done everything you taught me. I have a premonition that your judgment will be correct, but I still can't deduce the progress that follows." Now let's talk about Lin Zaiyasu. Having personally passed through a heavenly window opened by the 3 executors, he truly realized the profundity of the law. This heavenly window from Kangyuan Liu was the result of the combined effect of 81 Tao fruits. He currently has 1, while Kangyuan Liu has 81. It seems like a ratio of 1 to 81. However, the gap is definitely not 81 times. Why? Because of the profundity of the Tao. He now fully understands the realm above holding the way. 1 Tao fruit can enter the realm, but 3 Tao fruits constitute the second vessel. Is the second vessel merely 3 times the combat power of 1 vow? How is that possible? A second vessel can easily obliterate 101 vows at the flip of a hand. Why? Because above the great Tao, 1 gives birth to 2, 2 gives birth to 3, 3 gives birth to all things. 3 represents not triple strength, but the mystical mechanism of going from unchanged to changed, from stillness to movement. Here, it is not quantitative but variable. 81 follows the same logic. 81 is the ultimate of 9 nines. Kangyuan Liu, with 81 Tao fruits just half a step more, reaches the unspeakable realm. Then this brings about a problem. Is he the combat power sealing under this heavenly Tao? If so, then how does the Kangyuan Abyss Master suppress him? If not, that would mean someone under this heavenly Tao has actually broken through to the unspeakable realm. Kangyuan Liu has no idea how many thoughts are spinning in this kid's mind beside him. He glanced forward. There is the Elder Hall boy. I am not advising you to be truthful. In fact, I hope your mind is a bit crooked, because the Elder Hall has ways to deal with those full of schemes. Senior brother, Lin Zaiyasu said, your cultivation is unrivaled, yet you fear the Elder Hall like this. I truly feel it's not worth it for you, senior brother. Kangyuan Liu's eyes bulged. Who says I fear them? If you don't fear them, then oppose them. Lin Zaiyasu rolled his eyes. As your invited guest, you throw me to others to be trampled upon as soon as you arrive. Is that disgraceful? Guests should behave like guests. If a guest at your house enters with a head full of ulterior motives, shouldn't they be questioned? Get out! Kangyuan Liu shouted angrily, lightly flipping his hand. Lin Zaiyasu tumbled through endless space. Suddenly it turned dark around him, and he found himself inside a palace. The palace was very dim, but one by one pillars lit up. Each pillar had an elder appearing on it. There were both men and women, all dressed in snow-white clothes. There were a total of 48 elders. 48 gigantic pillars. 48 elders stood atop the pillars. And Lin Zaiyasu was like a pitiful ant at the base of the pillars, looking up at the endless starry river above. The 8th heavenly elite Liu has brought the false Liu who caused chaos in the demon domain to the Elder Hall to face judgment, said an elder with a black beard on the first left pillar, bowing towards the center. Please, great elder, take your place. Silently from above, a colossal pillar appeared out of nothing. Atop the pillar, a figure in purple clothing emerged. Viewed with the naked eye, this person seemed over 10 feet tall. Whether it was an illusion or reality remained unknown. Even Lin Zaiasu's heavenly Tao wisdom eye could not see through it. Great elder, everyone bowed in unison. Only Lin Zaiyasu quietly watched without bowing. Person in the hall, state your name truthfully, said the elder on the left. Lin Zaiyasu sighed lightly. Kangyuan is renowned across the world for millions of years, recorded in chronicle after chronicle as a place of order and law. However, seeing it today, I am greatly disappointed. 49 gigantic feet bullying a mere Confucian scholar. Is this how Kangyuan treats its guests? If I am fortunate enough to leave Kangyuan, I will definitely travel the world, informing everyone not to be deceived by historical records. What is said about Kanyuan is nothing but a place that bullies the weak with the strong. Chapter 981-727, Eternal Prison. Presumptuous. The first elder on the right leaned forward. You are a prisoner awaiting trial today. Where is your guest etiquette? I see. Then let's speed things up and restore my status as a guest sooner. Lin Ziasu smiled faintly. I am the Marquis Zui of the Great Wilderness Dynasty, named Su Lin. My bone age is 27 years. It is suspected that I have roots in the ancient sect, but as for my true origins, it is inconvenient to say clearly at the moment. However, I can tell you, my identity has no inherent connection to what I have done. Instead of stubbornly wanting to know more, why don't you just crack open my skull and search my primordial spirit? It would be more convenient. The elders in the hall looked at each other. Behind the hall there was also a tea room, with 7 people seated within. They were Kangyuan Liu Meiju, Lu Wan, Zixia He Yuan Fairy, Li Lun, and Yin Shisen. 7 of the 13 heavenly gang. The 7 who govern the heavenly Tao 7 techniques. Brother Liu, Meiju said, is this kid really only 27? One sentence, and everyone felt a surge in their hearts. 27. Is it possible? He can fight for real and kill the first realm of holding the way. Yuan Fairy smiled charmingly. If he's really only 27, then his intention is clear. He's telling Kangyuan that he is a peerless heavenly pride. Moreover, he knows that many great figures are observing. At 27, standing shoulder to shoulder with holding the way, such a talent, he bets that those great figures wouldn't want to give him up. Besides, he highlighted the divine search technique, though he's actually most afraid of the elders using it on him. But by bringing it up first, it makes it difficult for the elders to use such tactics. Zixia said, it's a bit contradictory, a worldly kid of 27 with wet behind the ears, having such deep scheming. Within the hall, the first elder on the right spoke, since you are willing to cooperate with the interrogation, that's good. I ask you, is it you who disguised as Liu in the demon domain to disrupt it? Yes. Why? Lin Ziasu slowly raised his eyes. The 19th son of the demon emperor openly humiliated Kangyuan, boasting before everyone that he would unleash the heavenly demon army to destroy Kangyuan. Do you know this, elder? Just a child's words, and the heavenly elite Liu has already slain him on the spot. The elder said coldly, it's not your place to mete out justice here. If it were merely a child's words, killing him on the spot is indeed punishment enough. Lin Ziasu said, but how do you elders determine it's just a child's words, and not the true intention of the demon emperor? The elder's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Lin Ziasu said, when I was young, I longed deeply for Kangyuan, seeing it as a sacred place. I deeply understand, though Kangyuan is strong, it has its shortcomings. The biggest shortcoming is that it always wishes to believe worldly sex will be content, unwilling to believe anyone would dare violate Kangyuan, no matter how apparent the conspiracy. They always minimize major issues, turning them into minor ones which then vanish. The words of the demon emperor's 19th son were not given much importance by Elder Liu, raised high and then put down lightly. This is not a good sign, so I took action to test it. Test, the great elder finally spoke. Yes, test. Elders, do not first ask if I should have tested it, but ask yourselves, was the result unexpected? The elders looked at each other. The result was indeed unexpected. Unexpectedly, it revealed connections with the mental path, linking to the Demon King Palace, showing infiltration into the demon sect. The first elder on the left said, to you, the infiltration between worldly sects is a major matter, but to this realm it is merely the norm. What is strange about it? Lin Ziasu sighed lightly. Such apathy from this elder I honestly did not expect. Apathy? Lin Ziasu said, indeed, this is the most gentle term I could find. When I say you are apathetic, it's not disrespectful. What I truly want to say is, you elders have failed in your duties. All the elders were angered. The great elder slowly lowered his gaze. Continue. Lin Ziasu said, even a trivial mental path, though it connects in all directions, you think it can't become a climate, right? But have none considered is the mental path isolated. Behind it is the heart Tao. Of the 19 celestial beams, heart Tao holds 2. Though its name is below 3 sects, the combined power of the 2 great heavenly beams could indeed rank among the 3 sects. The room was silent. After all, it involved the most sensitive topic of the 19 celestial beams. Even as an elder in Kangyuan, one couldn't speak carelessly. Lin Ziasu said, Perhaps in your eyes, the two of the 19 celestial beams are trivial, but if you consider the speed at which Heart Tao is rising, you might have another perspective. 3,000 years. In just 3,000 years, a single six-eared left holder can, with his power, pierce 2 nails into the 19 celestial beams. If given another 3,000 years, what then? No, 3,000 years is too idealistic. Judging by its current pace of unifying sects and infiltrating the dynasty, in 1,000 years at most, the sects will return to him, the dynasties will return to him. Do you think, by then, the Heart Tao will still be willing to serve under Kang Yuan? The kid is being alarmist, said the first elder on the left. Exactly, several elders echoed. Alarmist? Haha, Lin Zaiasu said coldly. Do you elders know the historical record of the six-eared left holder? Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left. It dares to stand alongside the Heavenly Tao. Do you think it wouldn't defy Kang Yuan? The room was truly silent. Six-eared left holder, an anomaly of the Heavenly Tao, claiming Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left. It truly stands alongside the Heavenly Tao. What would such an anomaly not dare to do? There is one more thing, truly terrifying upon careful thought, Lin Zaiasu said. Only the way of reincarnation lacks a mark among the Heavenly Tao 7 techniques. Have you ever pondered why this is? Chapter 982-727, Eternal Prison Part 2. With one sentence, everyone's attention was completely focused, including all the elders in the hall, as well as the platform behind the elder hall. Li Lun, the heavenly elite in charge of the reincarnation road, had his eyes firmly locked on the trial scene, with a tumultuous energy coursing through his entire being. The Heavenly Tao 7 techniques each has a Tao seal, yet the reincarnation road lacks a Tao seal. The absence of the Tao seal has been a mystery for thousands of years, unknown to anyone. Could it be that he actually knows? He can disregard all things under heaven, but this matter he must pay attention to. Because he, too, is someone who cultivates the reincarnation road. If the reincarnation lacks a Tao seal, then his Tao is incomplete. His cultivation limit would be firmly locked at his current level of mastery, unable to advance even slightly. Do you know about this matter? The great elder pressed with 5 words. Heavy as a mountain. Only for one reason, the reincarnation road is the key path for the normalization of the Heavenly Tao's order. Without reincarnation, the Heavenly Tao will mutate. Some wish for the Heavenly Tao to no longer be complete, and some attempt to open a breach in the Heavenly Tao. Shut up, the great elder said in a deep voice. As soon as these 2 words fell, Lin Zaiasu's entire body was restrained. He couldn't even speak. The great elder coldly stared at him. Considering you are a scholar, I've listened to so much of what you've said about the Heart Tao and mental path, and allowed you to speak freely. However, how dare you presumptuously comment on the Heavenly Tao in the Elder Hall? Fellow elders, I suggest that we cast this reckless and disruptive disciple into the eternal prison. Do you all agree? Agree, the first elder on the left spoke. Agree, the first elder on the right spoke. Agree. The elders below spoke in unison. I do not agree. Suddenly a voice was heard. Accompanied by the voice, a silhouette appeared out of thin air in the elder hall. This person looked young, but their eyes glittered like sun, moon, and stars. Easygoing, you 7 heavenly elites are only permitted to observe, not to vote, the first elder on the left said in a deep voice. Kang Yuan 13 heavenly gang oversee the world, and will speak when witnessing injustice. How could I remain silent? Meiju said. I believe the Elder Council's review has been unjust. The great elder's face darkened. In what way unjust? Meiju said. I believe that Su Lin, although disguised as Brother Liu, has not harmed Kang Yuan's reputation, nor disturbed the demon domain. On the contrary, the demon domain began following the correct path because of him, and he has contributed to Kang Yuan without guilt. The great elder coldly said, I have not accused him because of the demon domain disruption. His crime is that he violated the iron rule of the Elder Council, presumptuously commenting on the Heavenly Tao. An Elder Council iron rule commenting on the Heavenly Tao, Meiju laughed up to the sky. He says the reincarnation road is the key path for normalizing the Heavenly Tao's order. Without reincarnation, the Heavenly Tao will mutate. Some wish for the Heavenly Tao to no longer be complete, and some attempt to open a breach in the Heavenly Tao. All are statements of great Tao truth, thought-provoking. Where is the presumption? The great elder slowly stood up. As he stood up, he towered over Meiju. sowing baseless conspiracy theories, leading to the deviation of the Tao realm. The respected ninth heavenly gang of Kanyuan is also bewitched by this child, yet you claim it is not reckless. The great elder waved his hand. Enforce the law. With a light pop, beneath Lin Zaiasu, a black vortex suddenly appeared. The vortex, with an unstoppable force like a rapid, swept across Lin Zaiasu's entire body in an instant. Fixed flowing sand, Meiju pointed a finger. He pointed in the void. The rapidly spinning black vortex suddenly came to a complete halt. It wasn't the eternal prison gate that stopped functioning, but this area of time had completely stopped. The great elder was furious. Meiju, how dare you publicly defy the elder council? If even such obvious injustice isn't defied, how could I serve as a Kanyuan heavenly aura? Meiju said. Brother Liu, after all, Marquis Zui was brought by you. Will you not say a word? In the space, a pinpoint of light suddenly appeared. As the light emerged, it tore through space. Kanyuan Liu finally appeared. Finally, someone remembered this child was brought in by me, and today let me inform the elders when this child entered my Kanyuan, I promised him. He entered Kanyuan as a guest, not a prisoner. If any elder wishes to question matters of that day, I respect the elder council and allow you to ask. However, if in one word he is cast into the eternal prison, that violates the promise I initially made. The great elder said, Liu Bagging, before the elder council's judgment, you promised the suspect first. Do you think you can override the elder council? Liu's face sank. What does the great elder mean? The meaning is simple. What you say with others isn't the elder council's consideration for trial. The decision of the elder council has already been made effective. If any of you dare to interfere with the elder council's resolution, then you are seeking your own doom. Execute. As the last word was said, the whole elder hall suddenly lit up. On the walls, Tao patterns emerged through, as if the entire world had become the most sacred altar. Both Liu and Meiju's faces turned ashen. Activating the highest Tao pattern of the elder hall, this old fellow. Brother Liu, Brother Mei. Below, Lin Zaiasu suddenly spoke. I appreciate your kindness, brothers. Since the elder council has sentenced me to the eternal prison, then I will tread this path. What harm is there? What harm is there in taking a walk? You scoundrel, do you think the eternal prison is your family's marquee mansion? Truly ignorant of the heights of the heavens and depths of the earth. He glanced at Lin Zaiasu, and Lin Zaiasu understood immediately. I read in the Heart Tao Heart Gate scriptures that regarding the Kanyuan eternal prison, rumors have it that anyone who exits the eternal prison becomes a distinguished guest of Kanyuan. Is that so? Yes, but Meiju said. Thank you, Brother Mei. Since it's so, there's no but. Lin Zaiasu interrupted. Great Elder, execute the law. I'll come out of the eternal prison later to toast Brother Mei and Brother Liu. Chapter 983-727, Eternal Prison, Part 3. Meiju and Willow Leaf exchanged glances. With a soft hiss, golden light shimmered and Tao patterns filled the sky. Meiju's time law was fragmented. A black vortex activated, and Lin Zaiasu disappeared from the Elder Hall. Meiju and Kanyuan Liu took a step forward and ascended to the platform. On the platform, there were still 5 people. Brother Liu, Yuan Fairy gently brushed the hair from her forehead. Eternal prison, did you tell him the specifics? Telling him the specifics is useless, Meiju said. Eternal means no definite rule, and the difficulty of this prison varies from person to person. No matter how advanced your cultivation, there's always a higher level of binding to lock it tightly. Li Lun gently shook his head. Even if Brother Liu told him all the key points, he wouldn't be able to find the critical point. It would still be in vain. What are you all interrupting for? Brother Liu, go ahead and tell us, what exactly did you inform him of? Yuan Fairy said. Willow Leaf sighed deeply. I am not an immortal. How could I know he would enter the eternal prison? I haven't mentioned a single word about it to him. That's it then. Meiju slapped his own forehead. To know nothing about the eternal prison, even if he's a human emperor, he'll likely be imprisoned in there until death. Dear brothers, I must remind you of one thing. As cultivators, we must remain pure-hearted and aloof. Just a mere ant, yet it disturbs the Tao hearts of the few heavenly elites. If Master knew you were so unsettled, he'd be sorely disappointed. The speaker was Zixia, the youngest among the 7. However, she had the most cultivator-like temperament. Perhaps people come from chaos and Tao emerges from chaos. She, having already entered chaos, had long transcended worldly matters. She couldn't understand why these brothers and sisters were so concerned about this ant. Meiju rolled his eyes. It seems the chaos law cannot be cultivated. Look at this cold-blooded state after only 1,000 years. Brother Liu, open the window and take a look. Willow Leaf gently swiped his hand, and a heavenly window appeared from nothing. Below the heavenly window, it was the eternal hell. Upon seeing the appearance of this eternal hell, everyone was startled. "Eighth level," Kang Yuan Liu softly exclaimed. "This is too much. He hasn't even entered the realm yet, and it's already an 8th level difficulty," Meiju said. "I seriously suspect this boy seduced and abandoned the great elder's descendant woman in the outside world." "Brother May, I've taken note of this remark," Zixia said. "Should I send it to the great elder for appreciation?" Everyone was dumbfounded. Meijiu's eyes widened, then suddenly he burst into laughter. "That's more like it. I've always said our 13 heavenly gangs should have some character. Little sister, so you've developed a bit of a vengeful spirit, becoming a little more worldly, a bit like your old self. Wonderful. Brother May feels relieved for me, but I am puzzled by brother. You cultivate the time law, and time should be the best remedy to smooth all emotions. Why does brother become more entangled in the mortal world as he cultivates?" With these words, the other 6 gazes focused on Meijiu's face. Indeed, if the little sister hadn't mentioned it, everyone had felt it too. Others, cultivation makes them more detached from worldly thoughts as they progress. In youth, energetic and impetuous, but after 1,000 years there's no ripple in their eyes, while he is the opposite, more impulsive now than when he was young. Meijiu sighed softly. "All the troubles of the worldly millions of things, I still remember being young. You only a mere 1,000 years old, still naive, don't understand. What's that boy looking at?" The last sentence changed direction. Everyone's gaze turned. Zixia smiled faintly. "He is looking at his grave." "Grave?" Yuan Fairy frowned. "This 8th level difficulty eternal prison is based on chaos," Zixia said. "You may not see it. I cultivate the chaos law, uniquely endowed. I see it clearly. There are 4 trials in front of him, not one can he pass." "What's the first trial?" Kang Yuan Liu asked. "Above are floating clouds forming a chaos demon suppression array. Crossing the void is impossible, so he can only walk on the ground, and this seemingly flat wilderness is the first trial. Beneath it is the ancient cloud-devouring spider." "Ancient cloud-devouring spider, an immortal creature," Meijiu's face changed. "Exactly, it is immortal. No matter how powerful he is, once caught in the slaughtering field, what awaits him is endless slaughter. Dear brothers, do you still hope he can achieve something?" Everyone exchanged glances. The eternal prison sets up hunting methods corresponding to the prisoner. The higher your cultivation, the higher the hunting methods set against you. Originally, Kang Yuan Liu was quite assured of Lin Zaiasu in this respect. After all, he was the only one who knew that Lin Zaiasu's combat power far exceeded his true cultivation, an outstanding example of overcoming one's level. Just think to be able to press him, Kang Yuan Liu, down on the 9 extremes platform. How unimaginable is that? This kind of person is naturally capable of venturing into the eternal prison. However, the 8th level difficulty exceeded his expectations. Now with the sudden emergence of the undying ancient cloud-devouring spider, it's truly over. This thing is immortal. The more you kill, the crazier it becomes, never losing combat power. You always remain in the most intense combat state, and even if you can maintain it, the most crucial point is, this is just the first trial. In such a state, how can you calmly discover the mystical mechanism of the second trial? If you can't even discover the mystical mechanism of the later trials, how can you expect him to get out of the eternal prison? Lin Zaiasu stood in the eternal prison, staring at the barren wasteland ahead. Chapter 984-727, Eternal Prison /4. His heavenly Tao wisdom eye had long crossed this prison, crafted with chaos as its foundation, containing too many illusions and hiding too much terror. Heavenly Tao wisdom eye, tearing through all delusions. All the hidden mystical mechanisms appeared thread by thread before his eyes. Rapidly connecting. He had to admit, Kang Yuan becoming the one on the cultivation path for so many years was not merely due to luck. A single prison encompassed countless laws, profound mysteries including chaos, time and space, yin and yang, the array path, and also ancient creatures. And these ancient creatures carried the paradox of life and death. On the outside, someone must be observing. The great elder forcefully pushed him into the eternal prison, perhaps carrying some personal motives, but the influential figures watching secretly allowed him such wantonness without intervention, perhaps also carrying some intention, like getting a comprehensive look at this controversial person. Anyone entering the infinite prison must reveal all their cards unless they don't wish to leave. Generally speaking, in front of such high-level figures, a wise man should hide his true cards. But why did Lin Zaiasu enter Kangyuan? He wanted to showcase his skills. He wanted to tell someone deep in Kangyuan that he, Lin Zaiasu, was different, that he was worth Kangyuan's attention. Very well, then let's begin. His hand gently lifted. A flute appeared in his palm. The flute was placed horizontally at his lips. All 7 on the platform frowned simultaneously, playing the flute. The flute sound rose, melodious and lingering. Yuan Fairy slightly opened her mouth, eyes sparkling, deeply moved at the first moment. The woman has a fondness for music. No matter where, no matter what position. For 3,000 years, she had heard almost all music theory schools. When had she heard such a melody? Every musical note was so vivid. Every turn was so exquisitely perfect. Beneath his flute, it no longer seemed like the vast, endless, eternal prison, but a misty rain jiangnan, inscribing the joys and sorrows of the mortal world. Using music to open the path, surpassing music theory, worthy of being the human youth who reigned at the 10,000 Races Music Festival. Meiju sighed. Alas, are there any music connoisseurs in the eternal prison? Lu Huayan said, Junior Mei is mistaken. Though this music is worldly, it is more than just music. There is another skill within, connected to the destiny of the ancient cloud-devouring spider. As his voice fell, below the wilderness ahead, a roaring quake. Countless ancient cloud-devouring spiders burst from the ground. In an instant, the silent infinite prison became an ancient dojo. Everyone was greatly shocked. Beast taming technique. It's not beast taming technique because the ancient spider king appeared, and it clearly isn't buying it, Zixia sneered. Indeed, among the countless fierce spiders, a golden giant spider burst from the ground, extending its sharp claws towards Lin Zaiasu. This strike seemed as though it would shatter the entire area where Lin Zaiasu stood. The power of this strike had already reached the pinnacle of the first realm of Tao. At this moment, Lin Zaiasu seemed completely oblivious to the sharp claws descending from the void. Just as the claws were about to land on his head, under his feet, black and white hues suddenly switched. The figure vanished into thin air. The next moment, he appeared atop the ancient cloud-devouring Spider King's head, stepping down. Yin-Yang step, Yin Shisen softly exclaimed. He understands the Yin-Yang law too. Zixia smiled coolly. Indeed, there is some skill, but to think of dealing with the demon spider team using such a flamboyant method is still far off. Fly. At the last word, just as Lin Zaiasu stepped on the ancient Spider King's head. In her view, this step was indeed a bit stylish. But what do you take the ancient cloud-devouring Spider King for? Even with divine weapons, you couldn't pierce its skin, let alone stomp it to death with one foot. The word fly was uttered. Lin Zaiasu indeed leaped and flew. However, something unexpected happened. The ancient Spider King's claws, seemingly about to firmly seize him, suddenly stopped. Lin Zaiasu tapped lightly, landing gently on the ancient Spider King's claw, which slowly retracted, sending Lin Zaiasu to its own head. Chapter 985-728, Heavenly Tao Sword, Chaos Lotus. On the periphery, ancient cloud-devouring spiders frantically emerged from the ground, the entire earth resembling an ocean ravaged by a level 12 typhoon. But he stood quietly on the head of the ancient Spider King, gazing distantly ahead, without a ripple reaching his presence. Beast taming technique, Yuan Fairy said. He eventually managed to control the ancient Spider King. I sensed some kind of connection between him and the ancient Spider King's life. Meiju clapped his hands in praise. Marvelous. Didn't the ancient cloud-devouring spiders born in chaos claim to be immortal, then not destroy them but control the Spider King? This young fellow has indeed surprised me. Zixia girl, still feeling proud. Zixia's eyes remained aloof. It's just the beast taming technique. What's so great about that? The next trial is coming, and it's not something you can get by with tricks. In her dictionary, beast taming technique was nothing more than an insignificant skill. And the next trial isn't something that can be overcome with tricks, because the next trial involves the ancient earth scorpion. Earth scorpions are not products of the heavenly Tao, but belong to the Earth Tao. Beast taming technique, after all, is a heavenly Tao skill and can only control the heavenly Tao's fierce beasts, not Earth Tao. Earth Tao acknowledges no control from heavenly Tao, recognizing only its ancestors. Could this boy possess the bloodline of the ancient ancestor of the ancient Earth scorpion? If he does, he can control it. If not, he has to rely on his true abilities. With a booming sound, the mountains and rivers ahead rolled over. The whole world transformed into a sea of strange scorpions. These numerous strange scorpions were as large as giant houses, ferocious beyond compare. The solid earth momentarily turned into a black ocean, the tide surging. Even the chaos-based infinite prison shivered slightly at that moment. Lin Zaiyasu raised a hand, pointing straight ahead. Kill. Rumble. The ancient spider king under his feet soared into the sky and leaped towards the opposite side. As the ancient spider king emerged, countless ancient cloud-devouring spiders followed. When battle commenced, it became utterly ruthless, claws shedding blood at each encounter. Using spiders to kill scorpions, demonstrating the contention of heaven and earth. How magnificent! Meiju laughed heartily. Zixia commented coldly, the contention of heaven and earth, what fate awaits a mere mortal caught in between? Perhaps Brother Mei could optimistically estimate. The tide surrounded the ancient spider king. 8 ancient earth scorpion kings, larger than the spider king, charged, engulfing the ancient spider king. Lin Zaiyasu atop the spider king became a lonely boat amidst the raging tide. Suddenly, Lin Zaiya수's form wavered and abruptly soared to a height of 100 feet. Beside him, an ancient peak arose from the ground, towering millions of feet high. Atop the peak, a Dharma body sang melodiously. When the sea reaches its end, the sky becomes the shore. Standing atop the mountain, I become the peak. Boom! A punch struck out, and an ancient earth scorpion king directly turned to dust. A foot descended from the air, stepping on another ancient earth scorpion king, shattering it into pieces. Another punch, yet another ancient earth scorpion king turned into blood mist. In quick succession, he killed 7 ancient earth scorpion kings, the scholarly gentleman instantly transforming into an ancient war god. Zixia was stunned. Yuan Fairy's mouth slightly gaped again. Even Meiju at this moment fell silent, taking a deep breath. Brother Liu and your heavenly elite team, how many can kill an ancient earth scorpion king in one strike? 3, all in the second vessel, Willow Leaf said. And he has not even entered the realm, Meiju commented. On the platform, complete silence reigned. A few short sentences, and everyone's heart started pounding. On the cultivation path, the hierarchy is strict. The first true chasm is the enlightenment realm. Those without it are mere ants before it. The second threshold is the state of holding. Those without it are likewise ants before it. The so-called chasm is one no one can cross. No matter how brilliant, one might remain invincible only within the same level, finding it challenging to transcend. Yet he not only transcended, but crossed an entire realm plus a layer. The ancient Earth Scorpion King, on par with the pinnacle of the first realm of Tao under his hands, was like an ant, crushed effortlessly with punch after punch, step after step. It wasn't just comparable, it was annihilation. If the first trial showed his exquisite music theory, an incredible beast-taming technique, the second trial truly positioned this elegant young man as an unparalleled heavenly pride, not seen in tens of millions of years. He relied on sheer ability, crossing one realm effortlessly, slaying over a dozen ancient Earth Scorpion kings. Throughout Kangyuan, could there be such a talent? No, not one. Kangyuan has none, and under the heavens. Of course there are none. Only him. This is his. When the sea reaches its end, the sky becomes the shore. Standing atop the mountain, I become the peak. Initially hearing these 2 verses, people wanted to laugh. Now, reflecting on them, the whole of Kangyuan fell silent. A soft swoosh was heard. A blue shadow shifted. A figure appeared out of the blue on the 7-person platform. This person, with a national grace and divine charm, exuded an indescribable mystery, like the most unfathomable orchid within the heavenly Tao. Junior sister Duanmu, Willow Leaf, was taken aback. The other 6 were also startled simultaneously. Simply because the beautiful newcomer was the one who had been lying in a coffin a few days ago. The master's legitimate daughter, Duanmu Kan. Duanmu Kan, named Kan meaning incomplete, indeed was so as she was born with the 13 deficiencies. The master adored her, designing the grand heavenly Tao patchwork plan for her, using the heavenly Tao tree to mend her shortcomings, mending for 1,000 years just having concluded. Although her cultivation was barely at holding the way, not considered of high caliber by the brothers and sisters. However, she possessed 11 great divine powers and carried the master's grand aspiration of the Taoist path, truly an anomaly in the heavenly Tao, beyond ordinary measure. Everyone respected her considerably. Comparable to what? Seen as the master's only true heir. Chapter 986-728, Heavenly Tao Sword, Chaos Lotus /2. Duanmuken peered through Liu Yekai's heavenly window, staring at the figure within. Her forever calm and breezy face showed a few changes at this moment. What a clever boy, really, just like searching high and low only to find it effortlessly before me. Since my return from seclusion, I have scoured the world for news, never finding your trace, and now here you are before me. Dare you seize my opportunity? Dare you leave me with the mockery of being empty-minded? This time falling into my hands, let's see how I deal with you. Brothers and sisters, Duanmuken withdrew her gaze. This errant clown, who might he be? His name is Su Lin, the snow-clothes marquis of the great wilderness dynasty, Lu Huayan replied. Marquis, a monkey, Duanmuken laughed brightly. Very well, I'll first watch a monkey show. Bang! Lin Zaiasu struck out with both fists, and the final 2 ancient earth scorpion kings before him transformed into a mist of blood. The path cleared. He stood atop a broken cliff. Behind him, a rolling tide of ancient cloud-devouring spiders. Those ancient undead creatures looked at him with the usual madness and murderous intent. Yet, what could they do? He stood on the head of the ancient Spider King. The Spider King held no hostility towards him. These ancient creatures seemed to have only this one taboo, daring not to strike against their king. 2 barriers easily crossed, he Yuan Fairy said. Where is the key point for the 3rd barrier next? Zixia said, Array Tao mysterious mechanism. He must find the way forward. In my view, he's unlikely to find the strange point within the heavenly Array Tao. Heavenly Array Tao. It's the product of Array Path, geniuses' wildly creative minds. And what is called the strange point within it is the ultimate strange. Completely against normal thinking, otherwise, how could it be called strange? However, before her words were finished, Lin Zaiasu took a step into the abyss. With that step above, the ancient Spider King let out a wild roar, murderous intent surging, its sharp claws suddenly striking at Lin Zaiasu's head. Just as it hit, Lin Zaiasu suddenly vanished. Scene transition, he completely left the 2nd barrier's realm. Beneath him was a long lake. In the lake, a giant green lotus. Zixia frowned, actually found the strange point. He Yuan Fairy also frowned. What I don't quite understand is his beast-taming technique. What's going on? Just now, the ancient Spider King viewed him as master, fighting blood wars for him across 1,000 miles, yet suddenly seemed to regain consciousness, striking at him furiously. Such abrupt change. Everyone was somewhat startled. Indeed, standing high, seeing far, even if beast-taming techniques are arcane, they understood the basic principles. Controlling fierce beasts has a duration. Even if given beast-taming divine power, the mastered beast cannot attack him shortly afterward. Yet today his beast mastery deviated from the norm. This little sister knows. Duanmuken gently breathed out, because what he uses isn't beast-taming technique, but primordial spirit split body. Divine splitting technique, everyone was shocked. Don't ask little sister why he knows, because it's little sister's greatest pain. Duanmuken slowly raised her gaze. Brothers and sisters, maybe you've all received the Father's orders. 2 years later, we enter another world searching for the thief who disrupts the heavenly Tao patchwork plan. Congratulations. You need not travel far, he's come. What? He Yuan Fairy trembled all over. It's him. Meijiu was also stunned. Junior sister Duanmu, are you certain? Yes, little sister is completely certain. Duanmuken replied. Maybe we don't need to wait for him to pass from here. Little sister now reports to father. Let him be released. Little sister is truly impatient, wants to properly greet his ancestors across 18 generations. Zixia smiled lightly. Junior sister Duanmu's suggestion, I also agree, regardless of the fact that the next is the final barrier, he also cannot possibly pass it. The final barrier, what exactly is it? Meijiu asked. Zixia smiled tenderly. Sorry, little sister has been breaking Brother Mei's fantasies. The final barrier is the original Chaos Green Lotus. Original Chaos Green Lotus. In the past, the Green Lotus emerged from chaos, carrying one sword among the 13 swords of the Heavenly Tao. That sword is Chaos Lotus. Zixia, when you faced the Chaos Green Lotus, were you already Vice 2? Kang Yuan Liu asked. Yes, even though little sister was Vice 2 at the time, realizing the Chaos Lotus, subsequently defeating this sword intent took 81 years, Zixia replied. Brothers, if this boy were not junior sister Duanmu's dish, our appreciation of his hundreds of years of bitter cultivation would be fine, but little sister thinks, the great matters master and mistress specially entrusted cannot be neglected due to our interest, no need to wait. Suddenly, wind rose below. A willow leaf pierced through the air, heading towards the Chaos Green Lotus ahead. This willow leaf, evidently the one-leaf division of Kang Yuan Liu. This one leaf, shooting toward the Green Lotus ahead, compared to the day it killed the Demon Domain Heavenly Demon Great Army Commander, the skill was 10 times superior. Only because today's Lin Zaiasu, the space law has been integrated into the Enlightenment fruit. One leaf division, it seems truly has the mysterious essence to break open the void, truly carrying the 3 spiritual rhythms of Kang Yuan Liu. However, this leaf, just entering the area of the Green Lotus, transformed into chaos radiance with a puff. Lin Zaiasu's eyes brightened. Chaos Sword Tao. He clearly discerned the unfathomable brilliance within this Green Lotus, just now. Sword Tao. An extremely profound Sword Tao. Not surpassing Kang Yuan Liu's sword, but another branch within Sword Tao, Chaos Sword Tao. If Space Sword Tao is completely elusive, Chaos Sword Tao, then, is the sword of crushing everything. Chapter 987-728, Heavenly Tao Sword, Chaos Lotus /3. The 8 people on the platform were all stunned, including Duamukan. She was about to send a message to her father, raising her hand, but the message was left unsent, as she suddenly witnessed this scene. Brother Liu, this kid must have inherited your true teachings, Zixia said faintly. That move just now, one leaf division, surely carries 30% of your divine charm, doesn't it? If you ask about this sword, indeed, it has only 30% mastery, but if we discuss Sword Dao when I was holding the way, I was far inferior to him at this moment. Kang Yuan Liu said. Junior sister Duanmu, calm the fire in your heart for now. Junior sister Zixia, you too should temporarily curb your disdain toward him. The reason the eternal prison has existed for millions of years has its certain rules, not just for punishing people, but for redemption. It is precisely because of this door of redemption that my Kang Yuan cultivation path can continue to progress, and it should not be altered for one person or one matter. Zixia said, I understand Brother Liu's meaning. Brother Liu still firmly believes he is an unparalleled heavenly pride, willing to offer him a path of life, no matter what taboos he has violated. Yes, such a heavenly pride we have never had before in Kang Yuan. As your brother, I do not wish some preconceived notions to force this heavenly pride to become opposed to Kang Yuan. Lu Huayan slowly withdrew his hand from the void. Everyone, I have checked the cause and effect plate, and this child has a significant connection with Kang Yuan's destiny. The handling of him requires utmost caution. Li Lun spoke. I also agree with junior brother Lu's opinion. It must be handled with care. There's never been a voting matter, yet a vote is appearing among us 8 great heavenly gang. Duanmu scoffed. Since there is a vote, then let's cast our votes. Senior sister He Yuan, what's your opinion? There's always been a convention in the world that the tree standing out in the forest must be destroyed by the wind, and it's always been seen as regrettable. I believe a generation's talent should have their destiny in their own hands. He Yuan Fairy said leisurely. Let's skip the vote and abide by the rules of the eternal prison. If he can break out of prison, Kang Yuan will consider him a guest of honor. If he cannot, we will not intervene forcibly. This is called 100 strikes to a gong, a hammer hitting sound. Maintain the status quo, abide by the rules. No one should think of causing any additional trouble. Zixia swept her gaze across, a slight smile. Unexpectedly, a mundane ant can really disturb the Tao heart of the heavenly gang. All right, if everyone likes to watch, then watch more. I won't accompany you. She rose into the void. Just as she rose into the void, Lin Zaiasu also stepped toward the lake. Zixia had already broken through the air, suddenly stopped, looking at Lin Zaiasu in shock. In her knowledge, Lin Zaiasu dared not go into the lake, because his sword just now clearly told him that this green lotus could transform all things into chaos. Even sword intent can be turned into chaos. Can your physical body dare to touch it? However, Lin Zaiasu walked across the lake and headed straight towards the green lotus. The green lotus did not move, but the sword intent erupted. The air around Lin Zaiasu transformed into chaos. The lake water under his feet turned into chaos. The chaos intertwined fiercely around him. He sat cross-legged, seated in the lake, 100 feet away from the chaos green lotus. This place had become impassable for all things, but he sat cross-legged, as stable as Mount Tai. Comprehending the chaos law, Meiju said, this is the most foolish method. The Tao at the end also has Tao. Perhaps the most foolish method is the only practical one. Kang Yuan Liui gently exhaled. If he can comprehend the chaos Tao fruit within 10 years, will everyone acknowledge him as a generation's heavenly pride? 10 years? Zixia laughed. Brother Liu, are you looking down upon the path of chaos? Isn't Junior sister not distinguishing with us, planning to return to the mansion for meditation? Meiju looked up. Why are you still here? Zixia's face, serene and otherworldly, slightly sank. I just want to see with my own eyes how he is slain by the chaos lotus, yet how it will happen. Then watch, watch, Meiju made room for her. I also want to see if this little brother accidentally steps on top of your head, whether our sister who cultivates the path of chaos who has lost her human flavor will be angry with shame. Zixia coldly smiled. Does brother think a lack of humanity in scolding will make me angry? Sorry, quite the contrary, a lack of humanity. Leaving people and entering the immortal is my lifelong pursuit. Lin Zaiasu sat down in the chaos pool. His two primordial spirits simultaneously activated. One primordial spirit sat before the heart mirror, the chaos Tao flower decoding layer by layer in the mirror. The other primordial spirit also sat before the mirror. Inside it, sword intent traversed, sword heart brightened. He had already discerned that this green lotus is the way out. He also discerned that within the green lotus is a profound, unmatched sword intent. To comprehend this sword intent, defeat this sword intent, then he can pull the latch out of the door. And to accomplish these, he must tackle both aspects simultaneously. Chaos entry enlightenment fruit. The essence of this sword must be grasped. For such a grand undertaking, normally people would do it as a unit of a century. Even general heavenly pride would require at least half a century. But he didn't plan to spend that long. He said a month for himself. Why dare to be so arrogant? Simply because at this moment he is in the chaos lotus pool, with the sword intent constantly attacking him, to decipher the enemy's moves, to learn the enemy's sword moves. The best place is not in the quiet room, but within the battle. There was nothing in front of him. However, in his perception, battle was omnipresent. The profundity of that sword, layer by layer decoding, his chaos law also decoding layer by layer. Day by day passed. Exactly 1 month, Lin Zaiasu stood up. On the platform, everyone opened their eyes wide. In various unknown places in Kangyuan, many eminent figures also simultaneously opened their eyes. Chapter 988-728, Heavenly Tao Sword, Chaos Lotus Part 4. It's moving, Meiju said. Shall we take a few more steps forward? The closer the distance, the more one can touch the true meaning of the law. However, being too close also means bearing stronger injuries from the law. How to find this critical distance might be the key to his success or failure, Liu said. No one understood distance better than he did. However, he understood distance, but did not understand Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu took 3 steps, crossing a space of 10 jang. In front of him, the green lotus suddenly stood still, like a heavenly Tao beast awakened from slumber. That's enough, that's enough. Liu's palms were sweating. He could see that, in the next moment, a real earth-shaking scene would unfold. He hoped that this boy, who kept calling him Brother Liu, would be aware of the coming storm. Bang! With a light sound, the lake surface under Lin Zaiasu's feet turned into chaos. He leaped into the air, heading straight for the green lotus. Kang Yuan Liu stood up abruptly. Meiju trembled all over. Everyone held their breath, including Duamukan. A sword light rose from the green lotus, and at Lin Zaiasu's position, a green lotus suddenly bloomed. Endless chaotic power transformed into thousands of swords, falling in a single strike, binding him tightly at the core. Liu's eyes suddenly closed. Poof! A light sound. Lin Zaiasu's entire body turned into chaos. Overestimating oneself, Zixia coldly spat out these 4 words. However, in the next moment, her eyes widened. In the area that turned into chaos, a green lotus was reborn, and on it stood a person in white clothes as pure as snow. The chaos gives birth to a lotus, destruction and rebirth in a thought. Zixia's face changed dramatically. He actually comprehended this level. Lin Zaiasu stepped on this lotus, born from nothingness, his figure rising into the air. Above, a portal opened. Beneath his feet, black and white interwoven, and before him was no longer the gloomy eternal prison, but a platform. On the platform, 7 people looked at him in surprise. Brother Liu, Brother Mei. Lin Zaiasu gave a deep bow. I apologize for the meeting we scheduled last month, which was postponed until today. This is my fault. At the banquet, I shall punish myself with 3 cups. His demeanor was utterly refined and elegant. Meijiu laughed heartily. Since Brother Su has emerged from the eternal prison, Kang Yuan's iron rule makes you an honored guest. Please enter my Ruzuo pavilion. Thank you, Brother Mei. Lin Zaiasu raised his gaze, and suddenly his heart trembled. Among the 8 people before him, one slowly turned back. As they turned, his sea of consciousness was instantly swept by a grade 12 tornado. It's her. How could it be her? It was a recent memory, yet felt like another era. That day, second aunt was infatuated. Oh no, she was ill and needed an injection. Second uncle went to give her the shot, leaving behind a Taoist temple for him to review public examination materials. At midnight, he glanced an extra time at the floor. A fairy lay in a crystal coffin, her unparalleled elegance something no artist could capture. After that glance, he stole the heavenly Tao wisdom eye belonging to her. The second time, he stole her human Tao orchid heart. The third time, intending to steal something else, this woman woke and struck him with a sword, leading him to master the primordial spirit split body technique. Seeing her thrice, he stole 2 great divine powers and gained an extra passive skill. She was simply his good fortune. Yet he knew he was her calamity. Today, having just escaped the eternal prison, planning to be a proper guest, he suddenly discovered that the host was the very person he stole from as a petty thief back then. Moreover, the fairy's steady and intense gaze made him want to wager his nearly empty bank account. She recognized him. Marquis Zui, correct. Duanmuken slowly approached. Do you still recognize this lady? Lin Zaiasu gently exhaled. I'm sorry, now that you're dressed, I really didn't recognize you at first. Chapter 989-729. Duanmuken's 11 Great Divine Powers. Everyone's faces changed. King the Fairy in particular had a grim expression. You really have to keep provoking until you meet resistance. This junior sister Duanmu already harbored great anger towards you, and yet you dare to speak in this manner, practically forcing her to lose her temper now. Duanmuken did not lose her temper, at least not visibly. But her voice turned icy. So you're admitting to the crime of stealing my 2 divine power leaves, causing a flaw in my path. You're overstating it, Lin Zaiasu said. It was, in fact, the will of heaven, not something I intentionally sought. Consider it, back then I was a stranger to you, separated by realms. How could I have known you were in a coffin, cultivating? At that time I was merely an ordinary person. It was only because I cast an extra glance amidst the starry river that this fate came to be. I prefer to regard it as a beautiful encounter, a gesture of kindness from the heavenly Tao, rather than a grave sin demanding a heavy cost. Such a long speech, full of emotion and reason. Everyone had to admit, it was indeed the will of heaven. It's important to know that Duanmuken's place of cultivation is known as the Abandoned Realm. Even they couldn't enter it. Even the Yuan master could not enter. Who from the outside could enter and disrupt her cultivation? No matter how strong the person in front of us is, they couldn't intentionally enter. It must have been the will of heaven that allowed him to enter. The will of heaven. Duanmuken clenched her teeth. No matter what evil deeds, what evil results arise, can they all use the excuse of the will of heaven as a shield? You're mistaken, Lin Zaiasu said earnestly. This matter is not an evil deed, and the resulting outcome is not an evil one. It could even be said that heavens will allow me to seize your 2 chances, showing the greatest kindness of the heavenly Tao. Kindness? Duanmuken nearly ground her molars to dust. When water overflows, it spills. When people are full, they are arrogant. When the Tao is complete, it suffers loss. In the cultivation of the heavenly Tao, the Tao cannot be complete, which is why there is the saying of the great perfection is 50, heaven's way is 49. Why? There is always one that escapes, which is the variable, and only with variables can the Tao continue. If it were complete with no variables, it would be like stagnant water without life force. This is the ultimate truth of the heavenly Tao. According to this truth, do you still consider the flaw in your path a crime? No, quite the opposite. Your flaw aligns with the Tao. If you had no flaw, the Tao would not accommodate you. Heaven's will did not want to take your path by force. It used me to complete your path. You should not call this evil. You should thank Heaven's mercy. With these words, if everyone present had CPUs in their heads, they would all be smoking. The great perfection is 50, but Heaven's way stands at 49, and one escapes. The Tao cannot be complete. If it were, it suffers loss. Only with imperfections can life's evolutions manifest. What kind of profound great Tao truth is this? Seated in Kangyuan's position, no one in the world deserved to debate the Tao before them. But Lin Zhiasu did. Originally, any mundane person debating the Tao, their words would be laughed at by this group of experts. However, his Tao debate provoked deep thought. Could this truly be Heaven's will? Could the method of restoration, which the master tailored for the little junior sister, seemingly pursues the ultimate in the path but actually contradicts the heavenly Tao, is the reason why Heaven's will used him to break her perfection and left her with a flaw? A voice from Mei Jiu drifted towards Willow Leaf. Brother Liu, I know he is talking nonsense, but why do I feel it makes a lot of sense? Willow Leaf sighed lightly. If you feel it makes sense, then it makes sense. Why must it be nonsense? Mei Jiu was taken aback. Not only did he find it reasonable, but Brother Liu, who was always ahead of him in Tao realm, acknowledged it as well. Duan Muqian's brain temporarily froze. But how could she truly submit? She stepped forward. If we talk about Heaven's will, then our meeting today is also Heaven's will. Heaven's will demands you return my things. Everyone exchanged glances. This little junior sister, she doesn't seem to be lacking wit. At least she chose this entry point with great precision. Didn't you, Su Lin, consistently use the nebulous concept of Heaven's will to endorse your wicked actions of that day? Fine then, today, I shall also use Heaven's will to tell you that catching you today is Heaven's will. See, this is called using the enemy's spear against the enemy's shield. Lin Zhiasu said, this is inappropriate. Inappropriate? You stole the opportunity from this girl, and now that you are caught red-handed, you want to argue semantics instead of returning it. Are you planning to reinterpret Heaven's will? Duan Muqian's inner rage was like a river breaking its banks. Lin Zhiasu said, all right then, let's not talk about Heaven's will. Let's discuss something practical and reasonable. The Heavenly Tao Wisdom Eye and Human Tao Orchid Heart, I admit I took them. If at that time you managed to reclaim them, then they would be yours again. However, as time has passed, the Wisdom Eye is no longer the Heavenly Tao Wisdom Eye, and the Orchid Heart is no longer the Tao's Orchid Heart, but my Su Lin's eye and my Su Lin's heart. I, Su Lin, admire the girl greatly, and it wouldn't be impossible to gift you these eyes and heart. But how should you handle this eye and heart? If merged into the girl's body, then in you, there would be part of me, and in me, there would be part of you. What I see with my eyes would be your wondrous body, and in your wondrous body beats the passionate heart of mine, Su Lin. Such a violation of your purity, would you truly be willing to accept it? Everyone's minds collectively froze. His nonsense, mixed with indescribable ambiguity, let's not discuss that. The critical point is he pointed out the most crucial issue. And that is, these two divine powers have already fused. The divine skills on the heavenly Tao tree, why are they like dewdrops, one might ask? It is because they should be taken without flaw. Chapter 990-729, Duan Muqian's 11 Great Divine Powers, Part 2. Now then, are these two great divine powers still flawless? They have already fused with the man in front. Thus, they are no longer merely two great divine powers capable of being restored, but every part and inch is infused with the aura of this person, human eyes, human heart. This move, I suppose, no one had anticipated. Even the Yuan master and his wife couldn't have foreseen. Under normal circumstances, if these two divine powers are stolen, within 10 or 20 years they wouldn't reach the level of fusion and could be retrieved. But is the person in front of them a mere mortal? Even the eternal prison doesn't hold him, comprehending chaos law, entering enlightenment fruit in 3 days. Furthermore, he took 3 days to understand the heavenly Tao sword, chaos lotus. With these two things entering his body, what need is there for 10 years? In 10 days, they carry the Su surname. Even if retrieved, they wouldn't be the original thing. Just like a pure and clean bride being stolen, She can still be returned, but she has already conceived another's child. Isn't it disgusting? Duanmuken's inner fire directly exploded. Damned. She struck out with a fist. With this punch, the platform before her shattered into pieces. Lin Zaiasu pointed the tip of his foot, suddenly rising off the ground. As the punch wind swept past his nose, he exclaimed, "Miss, what are you doing? I am a guest of Kang Yuan. After killing you, I'll give you a grand burial with the honor of a guest." Duanmuken's outstretched fist, 5 fingers opened and closed. This fist suddenly changed. Around the fist all laws perish. The whole world seemed to only have this fist. Liu's face changed color. Destruction fist. Destruction fist. On the heavenly Tao tree, one of 13 divine skills. Once the fist is unleashed, all paths are empty. With just this punch, within the 2 obsessions realm, nearly unbeatable. Lin Zaiasu, with acute perception, transcending heaven and earth, how could he not sense the change in the earth? He was also greatly shocked inside. In his perception, it seemed as though none of the myriad things existed, only this fist existed. With a loud boom, his figure shot upwards, transforming into a 100-foot ancient divine demon. Behind him, a 1,000-foot Dharma body stood upon a 10,000-foot peak. His gigantic fist also struck out. Boom! 2 fists collided. Lin Zaiasu's 100-foot Dharma body reverted to its original form, and the Dharma body behind him didn't even have time to turn before it was annihilated along with the peak. Lin Zaiasu retreated 100 feet away, hair rising high, his whole body's blood and chi roiled. Damn! It was imaginable that her fusion of 11 divine skills was fierce, but who could have thought it was this fierce? With just one punch, she smashed his ancient Dharma body. Is this still human? He was shocked. Duanmuken was even more shocked. This strike kills mercilessly below the 2 obsessions realm. This person hasn't yet entered the realm, but he could block this strike unscathed. Simply indescribable. Who am I? A seeker of the Tao bearing the ultimate direction of the great Tao, the first battle upon leaving seclusion. Could it be without merit? Harmonization palm. Duanmuken clapped her 2 hands together. The great Tao creates something from nothing. With a reverse hand strike, this palm was like heavenly punishment. Junior sister Duanmu, Liu cried aloud. However, his cry couldn't penetrate the battlefield wind. As this wielder of space law without exerting full cultivation, he couldn't freely traverse space. This is the strongest strike among the 13 divine skills on the heavenly Tao tree, harmonization palm. Harmonization, all paths return to one. It's inherently a desperate great divine power. What could Lin Zaiasu do? With a loud boom, his figure rose again. The ancient peak reappeared behind him, seemingly the same as before, yet also different. The difference is that on the summit of the peak, a sphere appeared. A blue planet. His rule shadow. On the rule shadow, a sword light in the shape of a heart flashed swiftly like a satellite of Earth. Boom! The harmonization palm met his hand. Lin Zaiasu's ancient peak seemed to go through an apocalyptic calamity, yet the blue planet continued to rotate. Hiss. The sword heart orbiting Earth transformed into a sword, counterslashing Duanmuken. First strike, Lin Zaiasu was in disarray. Second strike, the power of harmonization palm clearly surpassed destruction fist, yet he could counter with defense. Only because of one point, he had already exerted his full strength. Ancestral star rule shadow, fully exposed for the first time in his life. With the sword heart fused with space law just now, with one strike, solely in terms of sword Tao, it was no less than Liu's without bringing out cultivation. Duanmuken clearly did not expect Lin Zaiasu to counter with attack. In the blink of an eye, this one-leaf division move reached her. Brother Su don't, it was Meijiu's turn to halt. However, both were absorbed in battling. How could outsiders stop them? As this one-leaf division move was about to give Duanmuken a lesson, Duanmuken suddenly took a step forward, disrupting Zhou Tian's timing. That sword heart pierced through emptiness. Third great divine power, great inference step. He Yuan Fairy's eyes lit up. As her voice fell, Duanmuken appeared behind Lin Zaiasu, Red Lotus Celestial Eye. As the 4 words fell, she seemed to become the sky. Celestial Eye opened on her forehead. Beam of Red Lotus sinful fire shot towards Lin Zaiasu. Wherever it went, the great Tao was annihilated. Lin Zaiasu moved his feet, black and white intertwining, suddenly disappearing. Yin-yang step, Meiju gently stroked his chest. These two should never have been enemies, they ought to be the Kangyuan double treasures. A short sentence. Their silhouettes were thousands of miles away. During the journey, 7 bouts had been exchanged. If either one among them was replaced by another Taoist, even one who joined law into Tao, they would be killed by the opponent with a single strike. This shows both of them fought at a level close to, or within 2 obsessions. Chapter 991-729, Duanmuken's 11 Great Divine Powers, Part 3. However, precisely because Lin Zaiasu was Lin Zaiasu, and Duanmuken was Duanmuken, neither of them succeeded. Duanmuken in a fleeting moment displayed 4 great divine powers: Destruction Fist, Harmonization Palm, Great Inference Step, Red Lotus Celestial Eye. Meanwhile, Lin Zaiasu also displayed his ancient divine magic, Rule Shadow, Sword Heart, Time Break, One Leaf Division, and even amidst a booming impact, a lotus bloomed in the heavens and earth. Chaos Lotus. Zixia was completely stunned, dumbfounded. She had to admit, this damned man indeed surpassed her once. Back then, she spent 81 years comprehending the Chaos Lotus with her second vessel body, whereas he truly learned it in 1 month. He broke through the eternal prison by his true abilities. As the Chaos Lotus emerged, the sky became a sea of chaos. In the Chaos Sea, Duanmuken cried out loudly, "Star Annihilation Slash." 3 words, overshadowing the heavens and earth. A finger accompanied her words, and where the force of the finger reached, 10,000 paths were annihilated. All was silent upon the heavens and earth. Waves of chaos ceased to rise. The wind of the heavens and earth ceased to blow. The starlight in the sky seemed to suddenly completely vanish, a formidable will tearing through the heavens and earth. The entire world turned utterly gray, isolating everything. God-slaying great divine power, Star Annihilation Slash. Willow Leaf's face turned ashen. Star Annihilation Slash, at its most determined and most terrifying. Can he still withstand it? Above the sky, the radiance seemed to disappear completely with this slash. Slowly it began to shine again. Duanmuken stood at the horizon, coldly gazing forward. Before her, Lin Zaiasu also gazed at her quietly, suddenly smiling. "Girl, this is the second time you've severed my primordial spirit. I took 2 opportunities from you. You sever my primordial spirit twice. Shall we settle this grudge here?" On the platform, the 7 heavenly elite all opened their eyes wide. Star Annihilation Slash. Among the 13 great divine powers, it is the most eccentric killing move. Suddenly deployed, it seemed like a gentle breeze blowing over a hillside, less harmful to him compared to a single destruction fist. "Why?" Duanmuken took a deep breath, her face turned a bluish hue, her entire body seething with murderous intent. At this moment, a heavenly window blossomed in the sky, and a jade-colored lotus emerged from the gate. As the jade-colored lotus bloomed, the entire world suddenly shed all killing intent, replaced by unparalleled serenity. "Master," the 7 heavenly elite bowed simultaneously. "Yuan Master," countless disciples below knelt. Lin Zaiasu's heart raced, the Yuan Master has appeared. The Lord of Kangyuan, the most indescribable person in the entire world, appeared. The jade lotus was above the horizon 1 moment, now it was between Lin Zaiasu and Duanmuken. On the jade lotus stood 2 figures. On the left, a person dressed in green, with a refined face, appearing as a Confucian. On the right, someone strikingly beautiful. Though they were clearly right in front, Lin Zaiasu viewed them as if across a myriad galaxies. Duanmuken bowed, "Father, Mother." Lin Zaiasu's heart skipped, "Father and Mother, my heavens. She is actually the Yuan Master's daughter. This bond I formed back then is indeed deep. Young man, what you just said, this seat has heard it all, no need to repeat. This seat has 1 word, listen closely." Lin Zaiasu bowed, "Yuan Master, please speak." Yuan Master said, "In the past, by chance, you took 2 opportunities from the Holy Daughter, which was not your fault. You speak of divine will, which partly applies. However, today you enter Kangyuan, also the divine will. The divine will desires to return these 2 great divine powers to the Holy Daughter's form, thus this seat will take back these 2 divine skills from you, yet still grants you the treatment of a distinguished guest. Do you have any complaints? This is the supreme judgment. From the judgment of the Yuan Master." Lin Zaiasu slowly lifted his head. "These 2 divine skills I have already integrated. Does the Yuan Master still wish to take them? Just to cleanse, removing your energy, revealing the sanctified radiance, what's the harm?" Lin Zaiasu said. With the Yuan Master's divine skills, achieving this might indeed be not difficult. However, does the Yuan Master truly believe this is the best choice? The heavenly Tao is clear what is the best, seeking suitability is enough, the Yuan Master said. The Yuan Master speaks of suitability, yet the junior speaks that this act is not suitable. There are two reasons, unknown if the Yuan Master is willing to hear the junior out. Everyone in Kangyuan exchanged glances. Although isolated by the Yuan Master's divine skills, no one could hear the content of the conversation, yet the demeanor was visible. This person, before the Yuan Master, showed neither inferiority nor superiority, this grace, this charisma, who in the entire Kangyuan could match. The Yuan Master said blandly, proceed. Reason 1. A bit cruel, Lin Zaiasu said. The Holy Daughter's cultivation has already reached the level of holding the way. The junior has not yet reached holding the way. She possesses 11 divine skills, while the junior holds only 2, both non-combat skills. If divine skills could truly achieve everything, would she not crush the junior with a mere turn of her hand? Yet the result has already shown she could not. Thus, the Yuan Master may have overestimated the role of divine skills. These words indeed a bit cruel. Duan Muken's fury reignited all over, stepping forward. The Yuan Master gently raised a hand, stopping her. Divine skills naturally do not represent everything. However, as this seat has already stated, seeking suitability suffices. Surely you do not think that occupying what does not originally belong to you, by force, counts as suitable. Lin Zaiasu said. The Yuan Master speaks rightly, regardless of divine will, the junior benefited indeed, occupying thus is not suitable. Therefore comes the second reason, may the junior propose an exchange. Exchange, how do you intend to exchange? The Yuan Master said. Does the esteemed think this seat covets some exotic treasure from the worldly dust? Worldly exotic treasures are like rubble to the Yuan Master, but what if it's a lamp? Lin Zaiasu said. Chapter 992-729, Duan Muken's 11 Great Divine Powers, Part 4. Lamp, the Yuan Master's brow slightly furrowed. Emperor Kun's kindling lamp. Lin Zaiasu spoke 4 words, said very slowly and clearly. In the Yuan Master's eyes, a spark of light flickered. Can you obtain Emperor Kun's kindling lamp? I dare not say I can definitely obtain it, but I dare say if I cannot, then no one else in the world can. Why are you so confident? Because I am not holding the way in that world, I am the supreme in battle. Lin Zaiasu slowly raised his head. Moreover, I am originally from that world. If there's a third reason needed, it's well known that Su Lin's actions rely not just on battle prowess. The Yuan Master's gaze remained calm. If it were any other treasure, the Yuan Master absolutely wouldn't care. At his level of identity and status, what treasure could move his heart? The whole world is almost his backyard, and whatever he desires, he merely needs to reach out. However, the talk is of Emperor Kun's kindling lamp. The Emperor Kun's kindling lamp is probably the only thing that could stir him. This lamp is the core foundation of the last generation human emperor. How useful it is to him is yet to be mentioned. The most crucial point is, if this lamp is held by another Jai-san, it could threaten him. Even if it is not the thing he most needs, it is something he fears. With heavenly Tao as witness, things that can make him feared, how many are there in the world? And indeed, as he said, regardless of how many people vie for Emperor Kun's kindling lamp, the person before him is the strongest contender for the treasure. Because currently, holding the way cannot enter that world, at least for 2 years, he will be the supreme force in that world, and surpassing others is not just a mere level difference. He is not holding the way, his battle prowess is close to second vessel. Entering officialdom from a civilian, becoming a marquis in just a few months' time. Wherever he involves himself, chaos ensues, even the 19 celestial beams are troubled. More importantly, he is a native of that world, truly possessing all advantages of time, location, and harmony with people. Such a person truly is the best candidate to obtain Emperor Kun's kindling lamp. The Yuan Master's gaze slowly lifted. You are a native of that world, yet you claim, willingly, to give the most precious treasure of that world to the Yuan Master. He emphasized the word willingly heavily, even with a hint of mockery. Precisely because I am a native of that world, I willingly offer this treasure to the Yuan Master. What do you mean? The logic that a man's innocence leads to his culpability for holding a treasure, I believe doesn't need further explanation from me. The Yuan master and his lady exchanged a glance. The innocence of the man, the guilt of holding a treasure. This might indeed be the strongest explanation. Why do people of this world fervently attack and plunder that world? Simply because of the Emperor Kun's inherited treasure. That world is merely the land of the end of Dharma. It cannot be held. Thus, the smartest move itself would be to hand over this exotic treasure. To hand over the exotic treasure, avoiding the calamity of being a collateral damage. This ought to be the consensus of that world. And whom to give it to is his transaction itself. To hand it over to the Yuan master, the Yuan master instantly shatters his heart knot. To hand it over to one of the super heads of the 19 celestial beams, then the headache falls upon the Yuan master. The Yuan master asked, "How long is the term?" 2 years. It can only be 2 years, Lin Ziasu sighed. Only? If within 2 years the kindling lamp cannot be acquired, and a mass of holding the way break realms and enter, how could I independently possess the unique advantage? Smart person, you are a smart person. Hopefully today's agreement is not a self-inflicted cleverness, the Yuan master said. Lin Ziasu said, if I were to play tricks before the Yuan master, 2 years' time is up, could the Yuan master not find me? To flay and extract sinew, reclaim the 2 opportunities wrongfully given by fate, isn't it just a thought away for the Yuan master? This statement completely dissolved the last thread of doubt the Yuan master had. Indeed, today's agreement, the initiative is completely in Kang Yuan's hand. 2 years. Time is merely a flick of a finger. If you accomplish it, certainly it's best. If you dare to cheat, the matter just returns to the origin. The Yuan master is to hunt down such a small ant as you. Where could you possibly hide? Ultimately cannot jump out of the fate disk. So it's agreed. Agreed, Lin Ziasu said. Marquis Zuya wishes to drink with Liu and Mei. The 2 vigorous ones may proceed, the Yuan master said. Lin Ziasu bowed. The junior leaves. And stepped down from the sky. Chapter 993-730. Time flows like water, life blooms like summer flowers. On the platform, everyone watched him return, their eyes widening simultaneously. When he exposed that greatest secret, everyone had a premonition that this lad was utterly doomed. Think about it, the heavenly repair plan, how significant is that? For it to be ruined by a person, how might that not infuriate the master? The master, mistress, and junior sister Duanmu were all furious over the shocking event, a thoroughly unsolvable deadlock. From the moment junior sister recognized him, he was, in theory, beyond redemption. Yet now he actually came down from the heavens, without broken arms, without crippled cultivation, without any mishap. Is this possible? Brother Mei, your invitation for this little brother to have a drink in your Ruzuo pavilion still counts, right? Lin Ziasu directly caught Meiju. Meiju furrowed his brow tightly. Why did the master not punish you? The Yuan master figured it out, Lin Ziasu said. After all, things meant to happen or not to happen have already happened. It's just fate. Ordinary people can't let it go. But how could someone as enlightened as the Yuan master not let it go? Let it go. Came to terms. The 7 heavenly elite looked at each other. Is this reasonable? Zixia's gaze fell on his face. How did you con the master? Tell us. Con, you really think I am only good at conning? Zixia nodded. The others nodded simultaneously. Damn. Lin Ziasu slapped himself on the forehead. Okay, I'll come clean. I made a deal with the Yuan master. I'll take full responsibility for obtaining Emperor Kun's kindling lamp within 2 years. And if I can't get it in that time, then he can skin me alive, sever my tendons, and use all 81 punishments of Kang Yuan on me. But for now, I did manage to secure the status of a Kang Yuan guest. To be honest, being a guest of Kang Yuan is damn hard to obtain. Emperor Kun's kindling lamp. As soon as those 4 words came out, everyone's eyes lit up simultaneously. They believed it. Only this they truly believed. Because the person in front of them, who could seize junior sister's heavenly Tao opportunity, could only be someone from that world. Someone from that world taking the treasure of that world, both advantageous in location and human connection. He had not entered the realm, yet could enter that world at any time, also taking advantage of time. Without entering the realm, his combat power rivals that of the second realm of Tao wielding. In that world, he is a god, occupying time, place, and harmony. He is most suited in the current stage to obtain Emperor Kun's kindling lamp. This is the fundamental reason. The Yuan master temporarily let him go. That is the whole truth, Lin Zaiasu said. Brother Mei, if you're worried I may defy the Yuan master's original intent in the future, resulting in my involvement, you can forego this drink. Meiju looked constipated. Kid, do you really think so highly of yourself? If you mess up in the future, I can just slap you away, right? Would the master still quarrel with me over a dead man? Come, let's drink. If he didn't say so, perhaps a few of the heavenly elite might not bother to get involved. But since both parties had spoken to this extent, who would admit that they, as dignified heavenly elite, were so timid about a future uncertain issue that they dared not even have a drink? Whoosh, they all came. Ruzuo Pavilion, a peculiar pavilion. What's peculiar about it? Peculiar in time. This pavilion was built on a secluded cliff. Below the cliff, a long river flows like time, flowing ceaselessly without distinction between day and night. On both sides of the long river, flowers seem to always be depicting the four seasons. The flowers bloom and wither rapidly. A row of flowers bloomed as Lin Zaiasu passed by, and by the time he turned around in the air, those flowers had already withered. He had never seen such chaotic timelines. He had never experienced such thrills within this timeline. Ahead is the Ruzuo Pavilion. Amongst the rapidly changing clouds, the pavilion appeared particularly steadfast. Sitting inside the pavilion, one instantly experiences the cycle of four seasons, time flying by. If their Tao heart wavers even just slightly, they become restless, worrying that after a small sit here, the world would have gone through immense changes. However, among the 8 present, who would have a weak Tao heart? Let the storm outside the pavilion take its course. There is wine in the pavilion, just enjoy. The people are worldly sages. The wine is Kangyuan aged wine. What is Kangyuan aged? That is wine brewed by Meiju over a time span as long as 1,000 years. This pale yellow liquid in the cup might be brewed from the golden rice in a valley 3,000 years ago. Meiju, as the host, raised his cup. Marquis Su has entered my Kangyuan, though the process of having a drink was a bit convoluted. Yet there is a saying in the mundane world, good soup simmers slowly, good wine ages with fragrance. Still hope Marquis Su does not mind. How dare I? Lin Zaiasu raised his cup in return. At the time when the Elder Council treated me unfairly, you all bravely stood out to uphold justice, showing the righteousness of Kangyuan's heavenly elite. For that this Marquis is thankful. Upon these words, Zixia's face did not look pleased. She hadn't stood out to uphold justice. In fact, she had always been in sync with the Elder Council. Her cup stopped at her lips. She paused and said, Marquis Su claims the Elder Council's decision was unfair, but forgets to reflect on himself. Speaking recklessly at the council was originally inappropriate. Lin Zaiasu laughed. Fairy Zixia speaks rightly. As a person from the lower realm, speaking so boldly at the Elder Council was indeed inappropriate. Yet why does everyone think this Marquis behaved this way? Everyone was slightly puzzled. He admitted it was inappropriate, yet asked why it was inappropriate. Why? Lin Zaiasu said, there is a widespread rumor. The heart Tao permeates the 17 celestial beams except for Kangyuan. This Marquis wanted to see if there really is this exception outside Kangyuan. Thus, my reckless act at the Elder Council was essentially a strategy, the strategy called knocking on the mountain to shake the tiger. Chapter 994-730, Time flows like water, life blossoms like summer flowers, Part 2. Everyone's heart shook, and Kangyuan Liui slowly raised his gaze. Knock on the mountain to shake the tiger, what was the result? Lin Zaiasu smiled faintly. The result does not need this Marquis to conclude. I believe everyone can see it. It holds much intrigue. All the heavenly elites, even the 3 major heads, felt their hearts pounding. If they had not seen the intrigue, Kangyuan Liu and Meiju would not have jumped out to stop it. The other heavenly elites, even if they didn't stand up, didn't mean they had no doubts. Because the Elder Council, led by the Great Elder, was so decisive in handling the matter with him, they didn't even allow him to finish speaking. Li Lun slowly raised his gaze. What triggered the most sensitive spot of the Elder Council must be Marquis Su's reincarnation seal theory, which he didn't finish that day. You might as well say it all today. Everyone was silent, 7 pairs of eyes all fixed on Lin Zaiasu. Lin Zaiasu gently put down his wine cup. To be honest with you all, I have dealt extensively with the heart pavilion and the mental path. I once used the disguise technique to enter the Heart Pavilion's core archives and refine the primordial spirit of 4 high-ranking Heart Path elders, thus learning many secrets of the mental path. 7,000 years ago, when the reincarnation road was still among the 6 paths, the Heart Tao launched several assaults against it, orchestrating Heavenly Cliff Tragedy, Cloud River Tragedy, and Kingju Mist Case, causing significant damage to the reincarnation road. The most devastating incident was the Mark entering the demon ruins. On this matter, a vast ocean rippled. 6,000 years ago, the Taoist lord of reincarnation road, Song Yilan, his long-lost confidant Su Yuyan suddenly appeared in the demon ruins, burdened with the red dust rope, which could only be undone by the reincarnation Tao seal. Song Yilan's 7 lives of reincarnation became entangled with Su Yuan's life and death fate. Unable to see her die, he entered the demon ruins carrying the reincarnation seal. He went, never to return, with his life's end, and the reincarnation seal was shattered. "You all surely know of this matter," Lin Ziasu stated. "This matter is recorded in the Sheng Hall of the reincarnation sect and is widely known throughout the world. How could we not know?" Li Lun said. However, this marquis learned from the primordial spirit of the Heart Path high-ranking members that Su Yuyan did not die. She is still in the Heart Tao, known as the Half-Tao Lord of Heavenly Face. What? Li Lun was completely shaken. Half-Tao Lord of Heavenly Face, the mysterious person in the Heart Tao whose position is second only to the Taoist Lord, Kang Yuan Liui said in a deep voice. Could it really be the enchanting woman from 6,000 years ago who caused the reincarnation road to fall off the Taoist platform? Meijiu said, "Marquis Su, your words are extraordinary. It would be irresponsible to speak without evidence." What this marquis just said was learned from the primordial spirit of the Heart Path high-ranking members, without adding my own judgment, so it cannot be considered as random talk. Lin Ziasu smiled. If this half-Tao lord believes this marquis has slandered her reputation, let her show herself and prove her innocence. Everyone looked at each other. This young man was so reckless, speaking casually at the Kang Yuan Elder Council, without caring about Kang Yuan's face. And today, he pointed directly at the person second only to the Taoist Lord of the Heart Tao, actually calling her the enchanting woman from the past who caused the reincarnation road to fall off the Taoist platform. However, regardless of his transgressions, he was merely conveying someone else's divine sense, so it could not be considered reckless speech. And so, a seed of suspicion was deeply sown. With the lost reincarnation Tao seal being removed from the 6 paths, the Heart Tao emerged suddenly and broke into the Tao. Many people were already saying that this was a grand game between the Heart Tao and the reincarnation road. If this half-Tao Lord of Heavenly Face is indeed the key person who directly led to the loss of the reincarnation seal, then the truth of this struggle for the Tao position becomes clear. Li Lun's eyes flickered. That day, Marquis Su did not directly mention this secret but focused on the loss of the reincarnation seal and the imbalance of the heavenly Tao. What was he truly trying to convey? Lin Ziasu said, "Li Tiangang's words are indeed the key. The heavenly Tao 7 techniques, each technique has its Tao seal. Why does the Heart Tao specifically target the reincarnation seal? Because reincarnation is the easiest to disrupt, and if reincarnation is chaotic, the heavenly Tao cannot be complete. Imagine, if the heavenly Tao is incomplete, which party benefits the most?" Heart Tao, Meiji uttered 2 words. "Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left." What a bold and grand declaration. Lin Ziasu smiled faintly. If the heavenly Tao is in chaos and cannot hold the center, does it mean that it's the Heart Tao's turn to hold the center? Everyone looked at each other, seeing the shock in each other's eyes. The Heart Tao, many recognize it as unorthodox. Kang Yuan, in fact, really never took it seriously. However, he repeatedly mentioned, "Heavenly Tao holds the center, I hold the left," making everyone reinforce their understanding. The Heart Tao's self-positioning is extraordinarily high. It aligns itself alongside the heavenly Tao. If it dares to put itself alongside the heavenly Tao, does it really not dare to defy Kang Yuan? Could it be that breaching the gates of Tao still doesn't satisfy it? Yuan Fairy sighed lightly. Fairy might consider seeing the recent worldly rumors of the lower realm. Has there been even the slightest sign of satisfaction from the Heart Tao's infiltration of all sects, doors, and families, dynasties? Kang Yuan Liui lifted his wine cup. In Marquis Su's opinion, how should Kang Yuan handle this situation? Lin Ziasu laughed. Kang Yuan, as the rule maker of this ancient world, has consistently remained uninvolved in worldly disputes for years, and changing a firm mindset in a short time might be difficult. However, there must be a basic stance. Go on, Kang Yun Liu said. At the very least, you must support the wholeness of the heavenly Tao. To maintain the heavenly Tao is to maintain Kang Yuan. Li Lun said, you mean Kang Yuan should support the reincarnation sect in regaining the Tao seal and returning to the Six Paths Forest. Lin Ziasu applauded. Li Tiangang's words are indeed the truth of the great Tao. Everyone was completely silent. In the past war between the Reincarnation Road and the Heart Tao, Kang Yuan's attitude was to respect the billions of years of tradition and not meddle in worldly affairs. The ultimate result was, the Heart Tao won and the Reincarnation Road fell off the Taoist tradition. Chapter 995-730, Time Flows Like Water, Life Blooms Like Summer Flowers, Part 3. No one really saw it as a big deal, much like adults observing two little children squabble over toys. Who wins, who loses, what does it matter to the adults? However, now Lin has introduced a conceptual shift. This isn't about toys. This is about the foundation of the house. The child named Heart Tao, who takes the brick from this foundation, will cause the house to be unstable. If the house collapses, the adults will perish too. At this point, as a rational adult, can you accept this? Supporting the child named Reincarnation Road, who returns the brick to its original place, is the rational choice for a sane person. Lu Huayan looked up at the sky. It's getting late, we've nearly finished the wine, let's call it a night. He ranks third among the heavenly elite, yet first in this current 7-person squad. He still studies the law of cause and effect. When he speaks, everyone shows some respect. Could this heavenly elite have insight into some changes on the cause and effect plate? Could their drinking today lead to certain consequences? They all stand up together. Willow Leaf said, Marquis Su, what do you have planned next? Lin Ziasu laughed. Brother Liu, although I've been in Kang Yuan for over a month, I've only managed a few hours of freely walking around. If possible, I'd like to wander about Kang Yuan casually. I hope you won't blame me if I inadvertently stumble upon your master's realms. Looking at his harmless smile. Listening to his polite response. Pondering the meaning behind his words. Can they refuse? Kang Yuan is a reasonable place. Willow Leaf had promised him entry as a guest, but locking him up for a month upon arrival and then kicking him out immediately after isn't right, is it? They could only nod. Willow Leaf slowly nodded. Marquis Su, aren't you in a hurry to deal with the matter you promised Master? Rest assured, Brother Liu, I actually already have arrangements for that matter, and for now, all I can do is wait. Then that's good, Willow Leaf said. Marquis Su, do you want to go to my empty pavilion now? Today, I'd rather stay here in Ruzuo Pavilion. I wonder if Brother May will be annoyed. How could I dare? Meiju laughed. Everyone went together. Lin Ziasu stayed behind on his own, slowly lifting his gaze. Brother May, what does the term Ruzuo in Ruzuo Pavilion mean? Hope for time to be like yesterday, that's all. Meiju raised his wine glass. What's so good about yesterday that makes Brother May so reluctant? Lin Ziasu asked. Yesterday at least there was someone by my side. Meiju poured himself a glass of wine, drank it in one gulp. Where is this person now? Over there, Meiju pointed towards a tall building. Did you know? That building used to be my favorite, but now I dare not climb it, especially on nights with the bright moon in the sky, afraid to climb. Brother May, as the long night approaches and silence falls over the land, could you tell me your story of yesterday? You want to hear it? I do. Meiju recounted his yesterday. Yesterday he too was an extraordinary young man, and in Jianghu he encountered a woman of unknown origins. The two fell deeply in love, writing their romantic time on the walls of the Bright Moon Tower. However, during a mission in the spirit realm, he aimed for a master of the realm, and just as that master was on the brink of death, someone suddenly intervened, blocking his sword. This person was the Jianghu beauty, and she was the daughter of the spirit realm master. Meiju couldn't retract his sword in time, and gravely injured his beloved with Time's sword Tao. That sword shaved off 3,000 years of her lifespan. She didn't blame him. She was even happy, because her father had a short lifespan and couldn't bear the loss of 3,000 years, but she could. She took the 3,000-year deficiency for her father, and she still lived. She was still able to enjoy the comforts of family and their tender affections at the same time. Thus, they spent 3,000 years together. 3,000 years seemed to have completely erased the shadow of that day's sword stroke, yet the aftereffects of that strike eventually surfaced. Her end was finally approaching. Meiju used the supreme time law fixed flowing sand to stop the time flow in the high tower, forcibly extending her life. Yet her world from then on featured eternally still blue skies, unmoving clouds, without even the blossom and wilting of flowers or the stirring of the wind. He wants dearly to see her in the tower and comfort her isolation. But he dares not, because once he steps into the tower, time resets. Time resets and she would be gone. A tower and a pavilion face one another distantly like this. Two lovers kept apart by life and death, divided by the tower, never able to meet. Lin Zaiasu felt a surge of emotion. The time law, a single sword stroke taking away 3,000 years. A single point of fixed flowing sand, freezing the passage of time. These are realms he can only dream of reaching. Yet such mastery brings this time manipulator immense helplessness and sorrow. Brother Mei, is there any way to progress another step in reverse time? Meiju lifted his gaze. Time can accelerate, theoretically it can also reverse, but such reversal belongs not to the realm of execution, but to creation. Do you understand? Lin Zaiasu gently exhaled. Execution means adhering to the established rules of heavenly Tao, such as time flowing forward as determined by heavenly Tao. But reversing time breaches these rules, thus cannot be executed, whereas creation is that step on the cultivation path that is said to be unspeakable. Is it? Exactly. If one breaks through the unspeakable realm, it might be possible to reverse her life and death. Yet she has countless times implored me never to take that step, for she knows that if I do, I, Meiju, would be punished by heaven, destined for endless deaths. There's a matter quite sensitive, may I ask about it? Lin Zaiasu's eyes glimmered. Chapter 996-730, Time Flows Like Water, Life Blooms Like Summer Flowers, Part 4. Words have no taboo, you can ask freely, Meiju said. In this world, has anyone actually broken through that step? Meiju nodded. Of course. That was all 10,000 years ago, the lucky stars among hundreds, but no one has taken that step in thousands of years. It was possible 10,000 years ago, but is now impossible. Lin Zaiasu frowned slightly. Meiju nodded heavily. Perhaps what you say is true. The reincarnation lost its seal, the heavenly Tao unbalanced, and the inch of opportunity given to cultivators 10,000 years ago is now completely gone. Lin Zaiasu stood up. Brother Mei, may I walk your realm? Go ahead, Meiju smiled. Brother Su, you once entered the eternal prison and in less than a month comprehended the chaos law and obtained the enlightenment fruit. I very much want to see if you can create wonders again in the time realm. Lin Zaiasu took a step down and landed by the riverside. The riverside is Meiju's time realm. This space has an incredibly chaotic timeline, visible to the naked eye. How to see it with the naked eye? Seeing flowers fall and fly can show the chaos of time. Some flowers are blooming, some fruits are forming, some flowers have faded, and some leaves have withered yellow. Looking at a single tree's flowers is even more chaotic. Some flowers go from bud to fruit in the blink of an eye. Some linger unchanged for millennia, a single bloom stubbornly standing out. Lin Zaiasu walked from beneath the peach tree to under the plum, from plum to under the poplar flowers. The wind rises, uncertain whether it's spring breeze or autumn wind. The poplar flowers fly, every tiny drop seemingly resembling Li Ren tears. In front of his heart mirror, the time Tao flower withered, and a crystal-like Tao fruit emerged. The time Tao fruit succeeded. Stepping back into the sky, returned to Ruzuo Pavilion, Meiju's eyes widened, done. Thanks to Brother Mei, little brother has finally accomplished the time Tao fruit. Barely a month. Brother Su, I hope your path stretches longer, even longer, Meiju said. Let me see what kind of miracle you can create. Life is like a journey against the flow, and I am a traveler, only wishing to be a wayfarer, just like the Mei family members. Lin Zaiasu bowed. Farewell, Brother Mei. Meiju also gave a slight bow. Brother Su, your next stop should be Sheng Pavilion. Sheng Pavilion, the place where He Yuan Fairy resides. Yes, you practice the life system technique. The life law is your innate divine ability, and the other miscellaneous learnings you may cultivate as you will, or may not. It is probably not essential, but the life law you must cultivate. Meiju said, without the life law entering the Tao fruit, your entry into the realm will ultimately be empty. This is truly wise advice. He cultivates the life system technique. The blood tower and sea of reincarnation within him are all built on the foundation of this technique. He might skirt around other techniques, but the life law is something he cannot bypass. Lin Zaiasu thanked Meiju again, stepping into the void, following a strand of silver thread from Meiju's guidance, directly reaching a marvelous valley. This valley is called marvelous due to its multitude of life's wonders. Various exotic beasts, various exotic flowers. This is Yuan Fairy's realm. She cultivates the life law under her hand. Any seed can take root and sprout. Any exotic beast can thrive under her hand. This is not really surprising, theoretically, not enough to shake Lin Zaiasu. However, upon seeing a green pavilion above, he was indeed struck. This pavilion is not built of brick and stone, but is naturally grown from a large tree. This tree seems to grow into the form of a pavilion, according to a person's will. What's more extraordinary is that the tree leaves are clearly butterflies, not merely butterfly-shaped, but living entities. Except for the butterflies, feet being linked to the tree, the rest are indistinguishable from the butterflies in the valley. Capítulo 997, Chapter 731, The Emperor of Dawang passes away. Watching countless butterflies fluttering in the wind, performing a butterfly play among the flowers on the branches, Lin Zaiasu felt a storm of emotions rising in his heart. This is a biological marvel. This is hybridization. Not hybridization between plants, but between plants and animals. Although modern theories contain many wild thoughts, and some lunatics even tell the world that the source of the world is the unseen molecules and atoms, theoretically it's possible to replicate ancient organisms using a handful of soil, as both soil and ancient organisms are elemental in composition, inherently no different. But in reality, is this feasible? This master of the life law on the path of cultivation seems to have turned the impossible into the possible. As Lin Zaiasu stepped into her realm, he felt as if he had entered a top scientific laboratory. Yuan Fairy sat within the pavilion, looking at him with a slight smile. You said before that you were wandering everywhere. I knew that someday you would casually wander to me. So does the fairy welcome me, Lin Zaiasu smiled. What do you think? I think you should be welcoming. Why? Because when I first saw you, I felt you were very familiar, very amiable, just like an old friend encountered in the past. Oh, which old friend? This person is named Hua Maioi, also a cultivator of the life law, but her cultivation, in your view, is too insignificant. However, those who cultivate the life law have a common trait, which is to elicit a kind of inner joy. Even though you are a nine heavens fairy, you still feel as approachable as a neighbor's younger sister. I am utterly impressed. To flatter me, how much groundwork have you done? Yuan Fairy chuckled. Come in, let me ask you something. Lin Zaiasu stepped into the pavilion. A branch lightly wrapped around, and a cup of tea was delivered into his hand. Yuan Fairy asked, that piece of music you played in the eternal prison, what is its name? Seems like an old friend. Yuan Fairy slightly hesitated. Seems like an old friend, this old friend. You certainly do not refer to the current one's big boasting me, but perhaps junior sister Duanmu, right? You realized your troubles were coming at that time. Lin Zaiasu couldn't help but laugh. Have you considered that my tune was not aimed at a person? Not a person, aimed at the ancient cloud-devouring spider. Yuan Fairy's eyes slightly shone. Every tune has its core. Seems like an old friend is a peace-triggering resonance. The path of beast tamer relies initially on finding resonance. This tune is rather suitable. Seems I overthought it, Yuan Fairy said. Additionally, there's something else I wonder if I overthought. Fairy, please speak. Yuan Fairy said. You used the beast taming technique to shock Kang Yuan, and then raised the issue of mental path causing trouble. Are you subtly conveying a message that the forces controlled by Heart Dao are not limited to one mental path, that among the 19 celestial beams, there is possibly a beast taming sect, likely under Heart Dao's control? Lin Zaiasu's gaze turned calm, quietly watching her. Yuan Fairy slowly lifted her head. What does this look in your eye mean? This look means admiration. All the way, I discovered that every Kangyuan heavenly elite is indeed a marvel of great power. Li Lun Heavenly Gang easily sees through the meaning of reincarnation. Tao Seal's return. Yuan Tian Gang swiftly captures the mystical mechanism of beast taming sect. The essence of beast taming technique is mental control, and the highest realm of mental control is Heart Dao. Heart Dao wanting to control beast taming sect needs no methods. The beast taming sect, based on the improvement in beast taming skills, will proactively incline towards Heart Dao. Admiration should be expressed by this young woman to Marquis Su. He Yuan Fairy curled her lips. These are your intended words, yet you shift angles to let us say them, and then praise us, sealing the matter. Where did you learn this skill of capitalizing on the situation? Haha, Lin Zaiyasu laughed. He Yuan Fairy laughed too. Then her smile faded. In Kangyuan, whatever you say actually doesn't matter too much, but once you leave Kangyuan, don't speak heedlessly. Heart Dao's image in Kangyuan's eyes aside, in the mortal world, it's still too untouchable. Thank you, Fairy, Lin Zaiyasu sincerely thanked. I know your intent, wanting to fulfill your life law. How it goes elsewhere I do not care, but here, this road is ultimately clear, only for one reason after all, being of the life lineage. I am happy to see your path is long and substantial. Her hand gently parted, a pathway divided. This pathway is a tree. First enter as leaf, next as trunk, then as stem, lastly as root break from the earth, and you may obtain Tao fruit. This is the reverse path of a tree's growth. This is also an exploration from surface to essence. Lin Zaiyasu moved step by step along the leaves. Waves surged within his sea of reincarnation. 3 days passed, entered the branches. Another 3 days, entered the tree stem. Another 3 days, into the tree root. At the tree root, he stayed for a full half-month. Finally, he broke through the soil, and life law bore Tao fruit. His body lifted, landing in a green pavilion. In the green pavilion, a woman slowly turned her side. Lin Zaiya수's complexion slightly changed. The person in the pavilion was not He Yuan Fairy, but an old acquaintance. The actual old acquaintance. Duan Mukan. Duan Mukan's face appeared calm, but if examined closely, one could vaguely see black lines subtly flowing. Her gaze fell upon Lin Zaiya수's face. On that day, you made a vast boast to my father and mother, saying you wished to leave Kangyuan to accomplish great things. 2 months have passed, yet you are still leisurely in Kangyuan. Miss Duanmu, what I promised to the Yuan master was 2 years, not 2 months, Lin Zaiyasu said.